interest rates.
Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren says President Trump thinks
he gets to use the power of government to silence, extort, bankrupt, or even prosecute anyone who criticizes him.
In a statement, Republican Senator Tom Tillis said the investigation reinforces his concerns that the administration is trying to undermine the Federal Reserve's independence. And because of that, he'll block any Trump Fed nominee. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, the White House.
The government sending additional federal officers to Minnesota's Twin Cities. Correspondent Nicole Skanga reports it all follows last week's shooting death of a woman by an ICE agent.
Just this morning, we have watched as the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension sent roughly a dozen of its agents to this block. They were canvassing door to door, speaking with folks, looking for witnesses. We know that state officials have launched their own probe here. So not only are we seeing dueling narratives, we're also now seeing dueling investigations.
The correspondent Holly Williams is following the massive protests in Iran as human rights groups report about 650 demonstrators have been killed.
We cannot independently verify that number, but it's crucial because President Trump has repeatedly threatened to hit Iran hard if protesters are killed. Though, of course, we don't know exactly where his red line is, and we also don't know what impact any U.S. intervention would have.
And more pushback today from Greenland.
I'm Vicki Barker at the Foreign Desk. Greenland's government has just said it will not accept a U.S. takeover under any circumstance. And the semi-independent Danish island says it will work to develop its defense under NATO, of which it is a member. Last week, 6 NATO member states affirmed they backed Danish resistance to a U.S. takeover of Greenland.
Well, here at home, an idea intended to help reduce air pollution is hitting some headwinds, as we hear from CBS's Jim Ursula.
California officials want to mix hydrogen with natural gas to cut climate pollution. That's being done in Hawaii and several countries. The idea is getting some criticism, though. A proposed 18-month hydrogen blending project in a poor Latino and farm worker community in California's Central Valley is raising health and environmental justice concerns.
Google's parent company Alphabet has become the fourth, worth $4 trillion. Wall Street, the Dow is down 71 points. The S&P and NASDAQ are higher. This is CBS News.
Real crimes, real justice. Follow and listen to 48 Hours on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Firefighters to the rescue when puppies overdose on fentanyl. The story's coming up, but first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. You've got a stall on I-90 westbound near I-405, and you're backed up nearly to Cougar Mountain. But the big issue, roadwork has 2 lanes closed on the I-5 Ship Canal Bridge northbound. Express lanes are open northbound. Details in a moment about that. But this is putting pressure on your southbound commute. Everett to Seattle, 90 minutes right now. You are backed up to Linwood. If you're taking I-405 south, it is also about 90 minutes long, 40 longer than usual. You're solid to Woodinville. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Major construction during your commute. 2 lanes closed on I-5 northbound over Seattle Ship Canal Bridge for Revive I-5 road work. The express lanes will remain open northbound until June. This commuter from Cedro Woolley tells KIRO 7 TV.
Some days are okay, and some days it might take an hour and 45, or it might take 2.5 or whatever, but it's just traffic either way.
After a pause for the World Cup in June, the closures will resume in July. State lawmakers in Olympia get back to work today as they begin a legislative session by diving into some big challenges, including balancing the budget.
Republicans like Representative Travis Couture blame Democrats for creating a multi-billion-dollar budget shortfall.
We don't have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem. We have never had more revenue in the state of Washington than we do right at this very moment.
Governor Ferguson is proposing a supplemental budget that includes about $800 million in cuts and nearly $1 billion from the Rainy Day Fund. Ferguson also wants to create a tax on millionaires that will generate, he says, $3.5 billion a year. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Police are searching for the thief who made off with more than $40,000 worth of Pokemon cards after smashing into Mugu Games in Everett. Store owner Michael Doran tells KIRO 7 TV this isn't the first time they've been hit.
We've been broken into 4 times. We've been armed robbed once. We've had multiple snatch and grabs of thousands of dollars worth of product.
He wants the crooks, when caught, to be held accountable to deter others. 6 puppies rescued from a fentanyl overdose. Someone brought 3 of the ill pups to Sky Valley Fire Station 54 over the weekend, where firefighters administered Narcan and oxygen to them. Later, Snohomish County deputies found and treated 3 more puppies at the home where the first 3 had come from. Time for a rematch.
Seattle is going to win this football game. The defense holding the Niners to 3 points.
The Hawks trouncing San Francisco earlier this month. We now know the Seahawks will take on the 49ers again for their first playoff game in Seattle this Saturday. KIRO News Radio weather, cloudy skies today with highs in the low 50s. It's 50 right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning and welcome to the Gee and Ursula Show. It is Monday, January 12th. G is out today, but who is in? Angela Poe Russell.
So y'all are having visitors again, huh?
It has been way too long.
I've lost count. I was so anxious about would the computer still work? Would my badge still work? But I'm so glad to be here.
Well, welcome back. Glad to have you here. And I know that we'll be hearing more of you throughout the week as well.
Yes.
So that is wonderful. And Happy New Year.
Yes,
I haven't
Happy New
had
Year
a chance
to
to say that to you.
I know. It's funny because we don't talk a lot, but I listen to you a lot. So I feel like it hasn't been that long because I listen to the Gee and Ursula Show.
Oh, you're on the group chat all the time, though.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, the other thing is you went on a trip. So coming up in the 11 o'clock hour, you went far away. So we're going to have a chance to talk to you about that. But I got a question for all of you. When was the last time you yelled at something that you either saw on TV or you heard on the radio? Because for me, it was just yesterday.
Oh, you yelled.
Oh, I was just so frustrated. So you're going to hear some of the audio coming up at 9:30 that got me yelling. And that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. No, I can't even imagine it for you.
It just was like, it's so frustrating.
Right.
Our text line is open for you, 888-973-5476. 888-973 KIRO. And with all that, let's get to our top stories brought to you by Pendergast Law. We're going to start off positive because here we go again. The Seattle Seahawks are going to be hosting the San Francisco 49ers at Lumen Field this Saturday, just 1 week after Seattle beat them to lock up the NFC West and the top seed. So we're talking about the same teams, the same stakes. And of course, now the talking has started. 49ers wide receiver Jawan Jennings is calling this a redemption game.
Hey, wait! Hey, wait!
Someone's excited. Okay, so just a reminder, and Nick, help me out here too, both of you. The teams split their regular season meetings, right? So the road team winning both of them, which only adds fuel to this upcoming game. And I want to let you hear in their New Heights podcast, Jason Kelsey talked about the Seahawks and the team's impressive defense.
That defense is really the one thing that's like, whoa. Seattle's defense is kind of built like a modern-day NBA team.
The athletes.
Their nickel is like 6'3".
Bro, he is active, too.
There were plays kind of open for San Fran, but by the time the ball got there, that distance was just closed. They move so fast. They have range. That's right. They remind me of an modern NBA team because they're all long. They can cover ground. And I feel like right now everybody's playing this like kind of conservative zone, like get back into your hooks. And the way teams are trying to combat that is the short stuff. But then they just break. They break on that stuff so quickly that even when you throw it short, they're on you right now and you don't get much out of it.
I just love hearing national broadcasters giving love to the Seahawks. But how are you feeling knowing, okay, we're going to go against the 49ers? Is it better to know your opponent real well and having played them, or would you have rather had someone else?
I would have rather had someone else because I didn't want San Francisco to make it this far. So you talk about yelling at the radio. I was yelling at the TV last night because I'm cheering on Philadelphia and I'm just like, why? My husband actually looked at me and said, Angela, you are not this big of a football fan. And I was like, you don't understand. I just despise
the 49ers.
Despise, with a passion. I mean, other teams, yes, they're enemies, but this is the worst. So I didn't want them to get this far. And so I hope that we pummel them on Saturday. And what crybabies. I mean, I think their coach was saying, well, hopefully the NFL will be nice and let us play on Sunday. No, they haven't done this since 2020. It's happening on Saturday. They're not going to change the rules for you. You're going to have to come to us and play by the rules everyone else has to play with. And it's radio, so I won't curse, but we're going to kick your butt. That's it.
Okay, can you explain? Can y'all explain to me, though, why there is this hatred when it comes to the 49ers? I'm trying to find, what is the source of that? Help me out, Nick.
Well, in recent history, I think it goes back to with the old Jim Harbaugh versus Pete Carroll days when they were rivals with the Niners and the Seahawks, and they had beef prior to that when Pete Carroll was coaching USC and then Stanford with Jim Harbaugh. And there was this whole thing about Jim Harbaugh racking up the scoreboard in that game. And Pete's like, what's your problem, man? And then he comes back with, what's your problem? And then the whole Colin Kaepernick with the tip in the NFC Championship back in 2013.
Okay.
It was going back and forth. So it stems back from there. And since then, these two teams have been pretty good and have been formidable, reaching the playoffs again and again.
Yeah.
And once again, they're playing again in the playoffs for, the third or fourth time this year. And I got to say, the Seahawks, I think, have the edge going into it because they're off plenty of rest. And San Francisco just played yesterday, and they have to play now 6 days later. They don't even get a full week of rest.
Okay, I'm hoping that works in our favor.
Yeah, and it was a close game with Philly, and they're pretty tired right now.
Okay, I think Nick nailed it. And I just have to say that Liz texted us and said, Angela, the only reason I watched that game was to try to put a curse on San Francisco. I think Nick nailed it.
Okay, I love... Okay, so think about this, though, because we have the possibility of having to beat our two most heated NFC West rivals in consecutive weeks to get to the Super Bowl, and that's if L.A. gets by the Bears, right? Do I have that correct, too?
Correct, yeah. Whoever wins the Bears and Rams game will move on to the NFC Championship, and the Seahawks will, hopefully if they overcome the Niners, which fingers crossed they will, they'll play either one of those two teams.
So text us, though, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
Are you trying to go to the game? I was looking at tickets online. Oh my! Have you seen tickets, Nick?
I mean, just to get in, it's at least $600.
Oh yeah, $600
like
in the nosebleed.
I will not be going to the game. I will be watching it from the comfort of my home.
Yes.
Are you trying to get in?
No, I'm out on that.
I mean, I would be a nosebleed for sure. Chef, how about you?
Are you kidding me? I didn't even bother looking at ticket prices. I just know.
If the weather were better,
yes.
then it might be. But it's like, you know what? It's really expensive.
Yeah.
It's rainy, dreary weather. We
want to park.
Sit at home and have chili or
pizza.
And
I want to hear from someone who is dying to go to the game, planning to go to the game. Text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. How you feeling about who our next opponent is? And what are your predictions? Do we get to the Super Bowl? Do we win the Super Bowl? Or do we just go game by game? It's not that far away, but yet it feels so far away.
Right.
Okay, how was your commute this morning? If it feels like Seattle is just one big orange cone obstacle course right now, it's not your imagination. I actually left early today because of this long-awaited repave of the I-5 Ship Canal Bridge. It kicked off today. Traffic, according to Sully, and he's going to join us at 10, this morning it basically stank. And just a reminder, 2 left northbound lanes are closed until June, only reopening in time for World Cup, and then shutting down again mid-July through December. And for the first time ever, the I-5 express lanes are going to be running north all day, every day, which means southbound drivers should brace for ugly morning commutes and weekend backups, especially downtown and near East Lake, where, I mean, this is an us problem, but getting here to work is a nightmare.
It always has no matter where you live, it has this ripple effect, right? When you have some areas closed down. Can you just, and maybe we can ask Sully this later, how is this different from what we experienced, the nightmare that we experienced several months ago?
He said it's going to be that and worse because it's going to be an extended period of time.
Okay.
So it's going to be basically the month of hell is going to be now basically 2 years.
Okay. Anchor me to our why again. Why are we doing why?
Because we have to. I mean, if you drive I-5, especially on the Ship Canal Bridge, I mean, you can feel it. Your teeth will rattle. It's bad. It's bad. So it has been delayed maintenance, and they can't put it off any longer. So it has to be done. And over here, it's switching to get more buses on East Lake. So we're just getting the double whammy just where we are. But it does have an impact on traffic everywhere, essentially. So tell us, again, text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. How was your commute, and what are you doing differently to get around it? Okay, you probably saw it here in Seattle this weekend and all across the country. Peaceful protests with thousands of folks gathering in public spaces, holding signs, chanting, and calling for accountability after that ICE agent shot and killed Renee Nicole Good in Minneapolis. Here in Seattle, the demonstrations were calm and organized.
I want to protect my neighbors, both documented and undocumented. I live in the south area of Seattle, and we've got a lot of immigrant families that I want to feel safe in my city.
So no real reports of any clashes, no chaos, just people showing up to be seen and heard. Many telling Fox 13 News they are furious about what they saw on the video from Minnesota.
Makes me feel furious, and it also kind of have to use that anger, channel it towards something positive. A lot of people are frustrated and upset, and things aren't going to change unless we take action together. So.
The thing that I was appreciative of, just beyond the number of people who showed up, is that the organizers were stressing de-escalation, nonviolence, don't add fuel to the fire. And this is your first chance to actually talk about anything that has transpired.
Yeah. I think a wise person once said to me, think about a year from now and what do you want to be able to say about how you showed up in that moment? And we look back on history and we say, how could people have done that? How could this have happened? And it's like it happens because a bunch of good folks don't do anything. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people are in a place now feeling like, what am I going to do? I see that this is not right. And all you can do is do what is in your control. You can show up and vote. You can try to spread credible, verified information, take responsibility for how you engage on social media. AI makes it really difficult. It's a good moment to just pause, right? Whenever I'm really shocked by something, I just pause, and usually I can find somewhere where it's been fact checked. And I think this is another way where you can go out and be around people who feel the same way as you and are showing up just to say, we are not okay with this, and we're coming in big numbers. And you mentioned about the de-escalation part, and there's a part of me that bristles when I hear it. Because all along, going back years, I feel like the majority of people were always peaceful. And you've seen these you'll have these people who come in and try to stir up stuff. And so yes, I love that they did that. And it kind of frustrates me because I'm like the majority of them, of the people have always been, right?
But having worked in news, you also know what gets the attention.
Yes.
You're going to be, you might see 95% very peaceful, but you're going to find, the ones who are overturning the dumpsters or setting the fires or whatever, and that's natural. That's also something that I know that Gee and I have talked about. It's like once it starts becoming violent, then in my opinion, it is not fruitful. It is not effective.
Yeah.
Because now the attention has turned and now you've become part of the problem.
Yeah. Let's talk about peaceful. Let's talk about tactics. Because this is why I love this show, because there are opportunities to share how we feel with nuance. And I actually understand for those who are like, I support ICE and I support the work they're doing. I actually understand some of the challenges that we were having with illegal immigration and that whole, totally understand. And we needed to do something about it fast, and we needed definitely a stronger approach. This ain't it. as my grandmother used to say. This is not the way you do it, because it is so triggering for me when I know history and this whole, like, let me ask you this. Is it possible? Like, have you ever made a decision and then you look back on the decision and you're like, what was I thinking? I don't know if it was a relationship or a financial decision. Is it possible? Is it possible? Can we leave room for the possibility that maybe a way that we're thinking now or an action we're taking now may not be the best move? Because it's easy for us to look back. It's easy for us to look back, and this is documented, that we would take kids from their families and sell them. We sold them. There were mothers who had 6 of their children taken and sold, and a bunch of people thought that was a good idea at the time. So now here we are separating families, and some folks think it's a good idea. Yes. And I guarantee you, years from now, history will not look kindly on it.
I think you're right. And we're going to go a little more in depth coming up at 9:30 because while critics are accusing the administration of lying about what happened in Minnesota, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is doubling down on her defense of the ICE shooting. And we're going to let you hear what I think, just excerpts of what I think was one of the most frustrating interviews I've heard in a long time. That's why I was yelling.
Why was it frustrating?
Because she wasn't answering the question.
Oh, okay, yes. Yeah.
I mean, it was just going around and around, not answering questions. And there is a new poll out talking about how does America feel about ICE today, and the results are very different from what it was just a year ago. So we'll talk about that coming up at 9:30. But right now,
it's the most wonderful time.
Nothing to do, and no hope of things getting better.
Okay, that's Eeyore for you. How are you feeling about this January or any January in Seattle? Because do you realize, okay, when it comes to gray, and this is the part that's toughest for me, we have heavy cloud cover in January about 70% of the time. I saw this in Axios, and there's only around 70 total hours of sunshine all month. So think about it. December may steal your daylight, but January is stealing your soul.
I have to tell you, thanks for being even more depressing. This is a complicated relationship.
Yes.
Because you reach a certain age and you realize how few summers you have left.
Oh, stop.
Like how much, no, seriously, you start counting. You're like, oh, wait, this is like, I don't have much time left. And then you're like, why am I choosing to live like this? But then I'll go on vacation and then I'll come back and somehow the rain is comforting.
Yes.
It is it's
a love-hate relationship. Yes. I'll take the rain. It's just the gray and the gray and the gray and the gray.
Yeah.
That said, when someone says you only have 70 total hours of sunshine all month, so give yourself some grace if you're feeling a little under the weather, Eeyore-ish around January.
And if you're single, you have Valentine's Day to look forward to.
Yeah, there you go. Oh no, and also daylight save. Okay, so we're gonna daylight saving time. That's coming back, right, in March. We'll spring ahead.
You're just full of good news. But yes, I love it. Let's go with
Angela's
that.
the glass half empty, and then Ursula's the glass half full right now.
Yeah. I'm trying. We're trying.
No, I mean, listen, I am definitely, I try to be grateful for where I'm at, but when you put it like that about how many hours,
I know,
and you look at how much time, I love sun. It feels good to be in here and look at your smiling face and all the lights. It feels great.
Yeah, they took it literally, like they really lit up the studio, didn't they?
Yeah.
Okay, still ahead, we'll, coming up at 9:47, you have a friend who said they're moving.
Oh, they already got a place. And this is not the first person.
Are you hearing from more people who say, I'm moving out of here? And why is that? And is that something that you have ever considered? Text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. I don't care. I'm going to keep living right here because even with the gloominess, I think we are living in the best place in the whole entire world. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
Okay. More of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
for a slugfest to win the NFL's toughest division. The number 1 seed Seahawks' first playoff opponent? Naturally, an NFC West rival.
And Purdy goes down inside the 15-yard line.
Seahawks, 49ers, Saturday. And Lumen will be rocking.
All teed up.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle. And KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM and the KIRO News Radio app.
Hey homeowners, are you stuck on the credit card treadmill and stressed because your consumer debt and monthly payments are too high? Well, Brock Hewitt here with a smart solution. Your home's equity in the Seattle Metro is probably larger than ever. It's like you're sitting on a stack of cash. Consider a cash-out refinance with Tila Mortgage to consolidate your high-balance credit cards, second mortgages, home equity lines of credit, and student loans, or get cash for a remodel. With interest rates finally coming down, consolidating your debt now may be the best decision you ever make. With excellent client reviews and trusted in Washington for over 25 years, Tila has competitive rates on refinance, purchase, or reverse mortgages too. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call Tila Mortgage today, 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
John Curley here. You know that moment when your house feels colder than it should? You turn up the thermostat and nothing? For over a decade, I've trusted the team at Home Comfort Alliance. They show up when they say they will, and they get straight to work, and they do it right. They've been keeping homes comfortable for over 40 winters. Remember, for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, including standby generators, call the Comfort People. Home Comfort Alliance, or visit homecomfortalliance.com.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from less. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Did you know that 25% of your home's heat loss is through your attic? Hot air rises, and if your attic isn't properly insulated, the hot air is going to rise right through your ceiling, into your attic, and out your roof that's far past its half-life. That sounds cold and expensive. Hey, this is Jake Skorheim. If this sounds like your house, it's time to call Valentine. And right now, Valentine has a great winter special. Bundle attic insulation with any new roof, and you'll save an additional 10% off your entire project. Plus, with Valentine's financing options, they make it easy. No matter what your home needs, insulation, gutters, siding, or a new roof, you are guaranteed the Valentine experience. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service, even in winter weather. My home is protected by Valentine. They keep me off the roof, which my wife and kids are extremely grateful for. I trust them to help you too. To lock in your winter bundle savings, call 206 Roofing today. Again, that's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine vans, you know your home is in good hands. 206 Roofing.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
Paid political announcement.
More than half of short-term rentals across Washington are booked by Washingtonians. Families traveling for their children's tournaments and games. Firefighters fighting wildfires. Traveling nurses providing critical care. Every day, short-term rentals are helping make travel more affordable. Legislators in Olympia are considering increasing taxes on short-term rentals. But with the cost of everything going up, we can't take another price increase. Keep travel affordable for us. Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive host pack.
Well, the wet, chilly weather has certainly arrived. It's Mike Salk here, and if your attic and crawl space are well insulated, your home should be fine. Should feel cozy and warm without your furnace having to work overtime. But you'd be surprised to learn how many homes in Western Washington lack insulation in these spaces. It's why you call Crawl Pros. If you're feeling cold drafts or seeing that heating bill spike, now's a great time to learn if you got anything going on behind that crawl space or attic by calling Crawl Pros. They'll come out to your house just like they did to mine, do the corner-to-corner inspection. In my case, they found the problem, showed me the pictures, and then they got it all fixed. Now, if they do discover your home is under or improperly insulated, they'll show you all the utility rebates that are available to help you get the work done correctly. Like if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could get a rebate to cover up to 95% of the cost of the insulation job. If you're worried anything is going on in your crawl space or attic, including critters, water intrusion, mold, plumbing issues, anything, call Crawl Pros and schedule your free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A brutal commute. Revive I-5 roadwork has 2 lanes closed on I-5 northbound over Seattle's Ship Canal Bridge, so the express lanes remain open northbound until June. The result, WashDOT's Tom Pierce tells KIRO 7 TV.
On the morning commute, we do expect to see more backups coming southbound because, of course, the express lanes will be northbound only for the next 6 months or so.
After a pause for the World Cup in June, the closure resumes in July. Homeland Security insists a Minneapolis mother tried to run over an ICE agent, and that's why he fatally shot her last week. In response, the federal government has sent more officers in. CBS's Nicole Skanga reports.
There are so many federal agents on the ground that there are more than twice the number of federal agents as police officers.
Immigration crackdown protests continued over the weekend, and in Iran. Video shows people crowding into streets and chanting over the deepening economic crisis there. Activists claim more than 500 demonstrators have died. President Trump says the U.S. may intervene on their behalf. CBS's Holly Williams.
Iran has responded by warning that if the U.S. takes military action, it will retaliate. And a senior Iranian official said that American shipping and the U.S. military would be legitimate targets.
President Trump continues to eye Greenland.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio told Congress that President Trump is interested in purchasing the strategically located mineral-rich Danish territory. But Trump has now repeated his threat to take it by force if any such deal falls through, saying, if we don't take Greenland, Russia or China will. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
A major escalation in President Trump's battle with the Federal Reserve. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says the Department of Justice is threatening a criminal indictment over whether he lied to Congress about the Fed's building renovations. Powell says that's not what's really going on here.
This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation.
The president has accused Powell of moving too slowly to lower interest rates. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 102 points, NASDAQ up about 70. KIRO News Radio traffic in Bellevue, the westbound I-90 off-ramp to I-405 is blocked by a truck. It does look like a tow is on scene there. Roadwork has 2 lanes on the I-5 Ship Canal Bridge closed. Express lanes open northbound. This is putting pressure on your southbound commute. Everett to Seattle is 90 minutes. That's about an hour longer than usual, and you are solid back to Mount Lake Terrace. If you're taking I-405 south as an alternative, it's about 80 minutes, 35 longer, and you're solid back to Alderwood. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio. KIRO News Radio weather, cloudy skies with highs in the low 50s. It's 50 right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in, and we're going to go through some tough discussions here about what happened in Minneapolis, because since we did the show on Friday, there was cell phone footage that was leaked to the media from ICE agent Jonathan Ross, who shot and killed Renee Good in Minneapolis last week. So just for background, Ross is a 10-year ICE veteran, and he was filming Good and her wife with his cell phone before, during, and after he shot her. And the first voice that you're going to hear is Renee, and the second female voice is her wife.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you. It's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the
car. So a lot of stuff was bleeped out. I've watched as many videos as I possibly can, versions, because there's different versions from different angles. But at the beginning of this particular clip, you hear Renee say, "That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you." At the end of the clip, you hear the ICE agent, Jonathan Ross, say an expletive after he fired the 3 lethal rounds into her face. And I haven't had a chance to even talk to you about what you've seen, your reaction to this.
Yeah, I just want to talk first about that clip a little bit more because, well, many of you know, if you listen to the show, you know, my dad was a police officer and I come from a family of law enforcement. And there is an expectation. I mean, people are going to say a bunch of things and you're expected to remain professional. You're expected to remain professional. That's a high bar? Yeah, it is. Because people say some awful things, and the majority of police officers remain professional when those things are said. When you listen to what those ladies were saying, they were like, "Dude, I'm not mad at you. Go ahead, go by." And then she hit her wife. It was her wife made the comment, "Our plates are going to stay the same. In other words, you can find us. We're not changing our plates every day." Mm-hmm. So they weren't trying to hide. It's like, these are our plates. You can find us. And then next thing you know, here we go. But here's the thing I have a problem with. The fact that you said effing B tells me you lost your temper. This was not about a tactic, but about you losing your temper and wanting to shut them up or, we don't see the 10 minutes beforehand. I'm sure you've seen more videos, so maybe you can add more context to that.
Well, what's tough and what I have said last week, and I'm going to continue to say, even though I have seen more video, is that I don't know what was going on in his head. I mean, this gives a little more indication. I think that you can argue that he had put his cell phone, so he was doing the cell phone video, got in front of the vehicle, moved the cell phone to his dominant hand.
Is that taught in training?
Well, and
to hold your phone while you have a gun?
No, it is not. But I would love to hear from law enforcement. Text us 888-973-5476 888-973 KIRO. I will say that I heard from law experts, from police experts who are not involved in this situation, who at least say there are questions about what happened here and whether it was proper protocol. The biggest issue I have right now, well, besides the fact that she is dead, and I do think that this would have been avoidable for a number of reasons, is we cannot say that we are going to have an independent investigation. And this is where I was yelling and screaming at the TV yesterday because Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem was on with CNN's Jake Tapper, and listen to some of the events as she describes them.
Well, everything that I've said has been proven to be factual and the truth. This administration wants to operate in transparency. I have the responsibility as the Secretary of Homeland Security to know this information as soon as possible. Had just been in Minneapolis the day before, had already had conversations with officers on the ground and supervisors, and knew the facts, and decided that the department and the people of this country deserve to know the truth of the situation of what had unfolded in Minneapolis.
With all due respect, Secretary, the first thing you said was,
Quote, what happened was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and rammed them with her vehicle. That's not what happened. We all saw what happened.
It absolutely is what happened.
Okay, well, no, and it went on, and she kept going on, and he kept trying to approach it from different angles, and she kept saying, she doubled down on the idea that she's a domestic terrorist, and her definition of domestic terrorism was she was in a vehicle that had the capacity to kill the officers. So she kept going on and on. The thing is, within hours of this happening, it wasn't even 2 hours. She had already declared that the woman who was killed was a domestic terrorist and that the officer was cleared. And she brings up that she was in Minneapolis the day before. What she saw the day before has absolutely nothing to do with what happened the moments before he fired those 3 shots. Yeah. And again, the proper thing and the responsible thing and the thing that would have tamped a lot of this down would be to say, we need to investigate this. It is tragic that a life was lost, and for all parties involved, and we need to have an independent investigation. But I don't know if you're aware that they said Minneapolis state investigators cannot have access to any of the evidence. They basically want the feds to be the one. And Kristi Noem is saying this is normal. This is what we always do. No, it's not.
No, I don't care whether you're Democrat, Republican, somewhere in between. We all should be concerned when we are denied a proper investigation.
Exactly.
Because it can swing always. And we don't want that for anyone. We always want an investigation. And I also have to mention this because this was something that Chef had brought up. It was a use of force review. Now, I want to say this is a decade old, but still very relevant. So this is from Customs and Border Protection. And it said it's suspected that in many vehicle shooting cases, the driver was attempting to flee from the agents, and the agents intentionally put themselves in the exit path of the vehicle, exposing them to additional risk and creating justification for the use of deadly force. It also said that it wasn't advised because when you shoot a driver of a moving car, you are putting other people at risk.
Right.
You are putting the public at risk.
Right.
And my dad always taught me about use of force. He's like, if the person running away is an imminent threat to the community, then you go after him. But if they are not an imminent threat to the community, you need to let them go. Like it's not, you cannot use deadly force for that.
And the bullet's not going to stop the vehicle anyways, as we saw. Driver's dead, the vehicle continues.
Oh, yeah, and could have injured or killed other people.
And
this
again,
is from their own use of force review.
The reason that's also relevant is because Jonathan Ross was formerly with CBP before he became an ICE agent.
Yes.
So, again, though, the best thing to do would be, hey, emotions are high. We need to get to the bottom of this, and we need to have an investigation. Someone's pointing out that the mayor of Minneapolis also called it a murder. We said last week, I thought that was wrong. And again, emotions are running high. Let an investigation, an independent investigation, take place.
Yeah, so...
But that's just not going to happen, and that's never going to happen.
Yeah. Well, this is the person who shot her dog, right? Wasn't there
Kristi
a whole
Noem?
thing?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, if there's one person that needs to be the first to go in this administration, my opinion, it needs to be Kristi Noem. Okay, still ahead, we are going to talk about it. We already had folks texting and saying one of our listeners said he wants to move to Bangkok, and another one says they want to move to Arizona. Mm-hmm. And you were talking to some folks who say they are moving.
They're out.
Man,
some folks are already out. I was texting and they weren't texting back. I'll tell you later. I'll tell you the story.
Okay, we'll have more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin. And that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
You're 62 or older, lots of equity in your home, and you want to pull some cash out, but a refinance or HELOC? Well, it means a bigger payment, and the cost of selling your home, it's insane. So what should you do? Hey, Brock Ewart here for Tila Mortgage. You don't need to live at a lower standard than you deserve. You really got 3 options. Number 1, sell your home. 2, get a HELOC or refinance. Or 3, get a reverse mortgage. Tila has done the analysis and believes that a reverse mortgage is the most cost-effective way for seniors to get cash out of their homes without selling and having the option of no monthly mortgage payment. Too good to be true? No. Call today and let's compare. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Give them a call today. 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
If you've been injured in a car accident, you have 2 choices. Handle everything yourself or hire an experienced attorney. Go it alone, and you'll be on the phone with insurance adjusters, chasing medical records, fighting for lost wages, and trying to figure out what your case is really worth. Hire the right attorney, and they take all that off your plate so you can focus on getting better. Harold Carr Law Offices has a dedicated team of 48 people and more than 35 years of experience handling car accident cases right here in our community. Harold Carr Law Offices handles big cases and small ones while still treating their clients like family. Here's the difference they make. They save you time, reduce your stress, and get you significantly more money than you'd ever get on your own. Harold Carr Law Offices fights for you at no out-of-pocket cost to you. If you're in a car accident, call them right away. Visit carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call CAR.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients, not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
See country star Aaron Lewis and the Stateliners at Muckleshoot Casino Resort, March 24th at 8 p.m. And now an added show on March 25th. He's a multi-platinum artist whose raw lyrics and powerhouse vocals have captivated fans for decades. Now he and his band, the Stateliners, are coming to Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Get your tickets now to see Aaron Lewis at muckleshootcasino.com.
is 9:49, and you're listening to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in, and we're going to talk about people who are moving out of the country because you have a friend who's doing just that.
Yeah, so here's the question I'd love for you to think about. If you're presented with this, with the reality that this country is not going in a direction that makes you feel safe, would you stay and fight and try to wait it out, or would you go? That is the question. Personally, I do know several people have moved to other countries since President Trump took office, U.S.-born citizens, but there's some data to back this up. Now, one caveat is it's hard to track these exact numbers, so you've got numbers coming in from various agencies. But according to this one Seattle Times report, which cited numbers from CS Global Partners, more than 1,200 U.S. citizens left the U.S. in the first quarter of last year. So that's the first quarter of 1 year. Marking a 102% increase compared to the year before. Europe is a top choice, specifically Greece. These numbers only include those who have renounced U.S. citizenship or permanent resident status. And some of the reasons are about safety in terms of mass shootings, gun violence, and then politics was the other one. The people I know, they cited Trump and the politics, and they just and many of them have been African American. They see this reminds them too much of what their great grandparents went through, and their ancestors, and they're like, I see this coming, and I'm getting out. You know that movie Get Out, that horror movie? Yeah. I told my husband, I said, I feel like I'm watching we're watching a horror movie, and someone watching us is saying, get out, get out. Okay, back to being serious.
It actually makes me really sad. So your original question is, are you leaving, or do you want to
try to make the country better?
And I say I stay. Okay. And I say that as someone who our listeners, longtime listeners, know that I haven't always been an American citizen, but I am a naturalized citizen. This has always been a country that, when we lived in the Philippines, where I was born, I always dreamed of living in the United States, living and becoming an American citizen. And once I moved here, it was just really important to be able to vote.
Yes.
And so now, for the first time in a very long time, I am going out of the country in a month. And this is the first time, because now I understand that there are also naturalized citizens
who are being
targeted. I'm like, okay, wait. Me being critical of this current administration, does that make me a target? And, and why am I even thinking of that?
Or the fact that you look like, I could look at you and say, oh, could she be, like I could
Hispanic,
guess a number of different ethnicities.
Sure.
And you've had people that have been approached because of the way they look. And that is concerning.
Well, and it shouldn't be that way. And so I'm going to use my voice. And even though, Angela, we get so many people who say, I wish you guys would just be, lighter and do lighter topics. And I used to come to you because you would always be fun. I mean, I want to just be the fun time gal, too, and talk about stories that have absolutely nothing to do with politics. It's impossible to ignore right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me tell you a little bit about where the people are going. So Panama was one.
Yeah. Portugal.
So the friend who is prepping a place in Portugal, he said, I just feel bad. He said, because he started out with nothing in life and, built a great career and is doing well. And he's like, so part of me is like, no, stay and fight. But then it's like, hey, be smart, right? And prep for something else. So Panama, Portugal, Costa Rica.
Yes.
There's one other one I'm forgetting right now.
One of our listeners just texted and said Thailand. So he's looking at Bangkok.
Yeah.
But the one that I see the most, and maybe this is on social media, and also probably because I just recently went there, was Portugal.
Yeah.
And I talked to people in Portugal who had moved there for a variety of reasons, not just political, but also, hey, it's a great place to move. A lot of people feel priced out. That's what we're seeing on our text line, too.
A lot of
people
folks
feel
saying
priced
this is,
out
yes.
of Washington in particular, and so they can live somewhere else where it's not so expensive. And I understand that, but man, I'm not willing to give up. I mean, there's just the pro, when it comes to the pros and cons, I will still say that there are more pros than cons. Mm-hmm. But man, I mean, that's why I was so enlightened by peaceful protesting.
Yeah, I see it in your eyes, Ursula. Just the way you looked at me and said, I'm not going to give up.
No.
You're like, I'm going to fight for us. I'm like, yes, I believe. I love it.
Okay, still ahead.
Wait, before you go.
Yes.
Andrew, are you staying and fighting or are you leaving?
Oh, yeah.
You getting out?
Family's here. Although I will say, Gabby and I had the conversation last night where she's like, I'm starting to get worried for me. She's half Latina.
And that's not right. I mean, that's what's so beautiful about this country. The melting pot.
Right.
I mean, seriously.
I know.
Okay, still ahead, we are going to have Sully join us because we're expecting 2 years of traffic, you know what, HE double hockey sticks is what he says. And we're going to see how it went this morning. He's going to give us an assessment. And then we're going to talk about growing threats to boycott the World Cup. That and more coming up next on the Gee and Ursula Show.
After a slugfest to win the NFL's toughest division, the number 1 seed Seahawks' first playoff opponent, naturally an NFC West rival.
And Purdy goes down inside the 15-yard line.
Seahawks, 49ers, Saturday. And Lumen will be rocking.
All teed up.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle. And KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Every season is a little bit different here in Washington, but I'll tell you what, the amount of rain never seems to change in the winter, and we have sure gotten a ton of it this season. All that rain, all that water, it's all got to go somewhere. And if it makes its way into your crawl space, that's when it can create all sorts of problems, including real structural damage, which could really affect your home. But more importantly, for the health of your family, the water in that crawl space could create toxic mold, and that has serious health repercussions. Thankfully, we have Crawl Pros. They can come in and keep your crawl space dry, install a sump pump and drainage, and reroute that water back out and away from your home. They'll also take care of any mold that may have been created. Don't take the risk. It's too important. The best way to learn if you have any water is to ask Crawl Pros to visit your home and inspect your crawl space for free. Crawl Pros will go where you don't want to. So if you're worried about water damage, mold, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
John Curley here. You know that moment when your house feels colder than it should? You turn up the thermostat and nothing? For over a decade, I've trusted the team at Home Comfort Alliance. They show up when they say they will, and they get straight to work, and they do it right. They've been keeping homes comfortable for over 40 winters. Remember, for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, including standby generators, call the Comfort People, Home Comfort Alliance, or visit homecomfortalliance.com.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Cold is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO-FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. Lawmakers in both parties raised concern about the Justice Department's move to investigate Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. CBS News contributor Javier David.
Uncharacteristically blunt response from the Fed chairman, who believes that the Fed's independence is under attack. Investors don't like this. They don't like uncertainty, and they certainly don't like the appearance of political machinations, if you will, making its way into monetary and investor decisions.
Now to Capitol Hill, where CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns tells us another government shutdown is possible at the end of this month.
Lawmakers are trying to figure out a way to get all these individual spending bills passed to avoid that government shutdown at the end of this month. The key to watch, though, is spending for Homeland Security. You have some Democrats who want to hold up spending when it comes to Homeland Security because of everything happening with ICE, but that group is small at this point.
CBS News immigration reporter Camilo Montoya Galvez has been tracking federal raids in recent months and says ICE is holding 69,000 people across the country.
About 26% of the detainees held by ICE did have criminal charges, and the other 26% had criminal convictions, but the data does not show or illustrate the severity of those crimes.
3 inmates were killed and more than a dozen hurt as major fights broke out at the Washington State Prison in Davisboro, Georgia. Sheriff Joel Cochran is trying to piece together what happened.
I do not have any information as to what actually started this incident inside the facility, and I don't have any information to describe the incident.
Corrections officials say that prison is now secure and under control. Now to New York City, where 15,000 unionized nurses are on strike against several major hospitals.
Nurses working at New York Presbyterian say conditions have gotten so bad it's led them to the picket line.
Fighting for our cause, I can't be more proud.
Courtney's a nurse inside of the NICU.
This is the worst I've ever seen it.
Mayor Mamdani waving to nurses and says he stands with them in solidarity.
They are not asking for a multi-million-dollar salary. What they are asking for is for their pensions to be safeguarded, to be protected in their own workplace.
Mary Lynn Buckley for CBS News, New York.
Apple and Google announcing today a multi-year deal that will see Apple's next-generation artificial intelligence features, including the Siri chatbot, powered by Google's Gemini technology. And checking Wall Street, right now the Dow is down 47 points. The S&P and NASDAQ are trading higher. This is CBS News.
Real crimes, real justice. Follow and listen to 48 Hours on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
State lawmakers started a new session with talk of a millionaire tax. The story coming up at first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. In Bellevue, the westbound I-90 off-ramp to I-405 still blocked by a big truck. There is a tow truck on scene. Roadwork has 2 lanes on the I-5 Ship Canal Bridge closed. Express lanes remain open northbound. Details on that in a second, but this is putting pressure on your southbound commute big time. Everett to Seattle, 80 minutes, 52 longer than typical. You're backed up through Shoreline. If you're taking I-405 south, it's also about 70 minutes, almost 40 longer. Solid, nearly back to Alderwood. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Revive I-5 roadwork is back. 2 lanes are closed on I-5 northbound over Seattle Ship Canal Bridge, so the express lanes will remain open northbound until June. An area business owner tells KIRO 7 TV.
It's important to keep our infrastructure in repair, so in a way, we just have to bite the bullet.
After a pause for the World Cup in June, the closures will resume in July. State lawmakers in Olympia start the legislative session today with Governor Bob Ferguson and Democrats asking for a millionaire's tax.
Governor Ferguson says the 10% tax on earnings over $1 million annually will create tax relief for lower earners by expanding the workers' family tax credit, small business B&O exemptions, and potentially reducing sales taxes.
And I think most Washingtonians, and I think even most millionaires, will support that.
Republican Representative Chris Gilden calls the tax a slippery slope.
We should call this a first slice of the pie tax, because this is just the first slice of the pie. It is going to expand.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Gunfire near a hookah lounge in Seattle's Chinatown International District left a 27-year-old man injured Saturday. The owner tells police he fired his handgun to break up a fight. Police did talk to him and released him. Officers say a man turned up later with injuries consistent with a shotgun blast. Tens of thousands of dollars worth of Pokemon cards stolen from an Everett business. More from KIRO 7 TV's Jack Chapman.
Surveillance video from Mugu Games last Thursday shows someone breaking in the store and trying to make off with valuable Pokemon cards.
Went back outside, grabbed an axe is what it looked like, came in, smashed the window, grabbed some stuff.
Owner Michael Doran says in total, over $40,000 worth of Pokemon cards were stolen, including one card worth over $4,000 alone.
And those thieves are still on the loose. The Seahawks' first playoff game is Saturday in Seattle against a familiar foe, the San Francisco 49ers. The Hawks dominating them with a 13-3 win earlier this month. 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan.
They played us real well, definitely beat us, but I know we can play better than that, so I'm glad we got another shot.
KIRO News Radio weather, cloudy skies today with highs in the low 50s. It is 51 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome and happy Monday to all of you. G is out today, but Angela Poe Russell is in. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's so great to have you here. And a lot of folks on the text line saying welcome back as well.
It's been so nice.
Hey, coming up at 10:30, okay, we're going to talk about why your home is a mess. And then, even more importantly, we're going to tell you how to fix it.
And I just want to interject and say that it is the best advice on decluttering I've ever seen.
Seriously?
Oh yeah, this was game changer.
Okay, and a lot of people are doing the decluttering thing right now. I'm seeing it all over social media. Yeah, text us 888-973-5476 888-973 KIRO. Are you decluttering anything in your life? Share that as well if you have any tips about that. But we'll have that fun conversation coming up at 10:30. But right now,
what's new at 10?
We need to talk about it because you probably felt it if you were on I-5 this morning. We're in day one of a months-long shutdown that is going to cripple I-5 through Seattle, and it's going to last for most of 2 years. Sully, you've been warning about this.
Yeah.
And so how did it go today?
It's awful. It's still awful.
Okay, tell us where's the most awful.
It is still backed up from 175th and Shoreline all the way down to 85th. Bumper to bumper. If anyone ever wondered just how many people use the southbound express lanes in the morning commute, I mean, this is your proof. Tens of thousands of people use those express lanes in the morning. And with them gone, because they are closed now until June, they're open 24/7 in the northbound direction for construction. Yes.
Oh, no. I was saying, so northbound 24/7, southbound closed fully, not just on weekends.
No,
but
forever. Forever. Pretty might as well be
forever.
Through June. So what we have is they're in the process of redoing the Ship Canal Bridge. So over the summer, we did this for a month between July and August. 2 lanes of the Ship Canal Bridge northbound are blocked today, and they will be through June as they're replacing the concrete there, all the expansion joints, all that kind of stuff, giving it the TLC that it really needs. Well, in order to, the DOT decided, okay, then we'll keep the express lanes open in the direction of the closure so that it doesn't back up unnecessarily. That gives you an option, say, if you're going through Seattle, to go into the express lanes.
Was that the smartest thing to do?
Well, We'll get to that.
That was going to be my question.
Oh, boy.
Because yes, right now, northbound I-5 and during the morning commute did back up from about the convention center up to 520 where the lane closures were. And there was a legitimate 20-minute delay there. But we had an hour delay coming down out of the north end because those express lanes weren't switched like they normally are during the morning commute. So at the height of the commute, it was probably an hour and 40 minutes from Linwood into Seattle, which is an hour longer than it should take. We had a 9-mile backup. People were going everywhere they possibly could. Lake City Way, you couldn't move. 99 was backed up to Northgate all the way through Queen Anne and the Ship Canal and down into South Lake Union. And then 405 got into the act because everybody further north just got rid of I-5 altogether, and that jumped to about an hour and 10, hour and 15-minute trip out of Linwood. And today's the second lightest volume day of the week. Right, Mondays and Fridays. Tomorrow, it could be even worse.
So where's that audio clip held to the gnaw? I mean,
exactly,
I need
right?
that. So let me ask you this, Sully, because I need someone to blame here. I feel like I need someone to
blame
be
me.
angry at. No.
Blame me.
Was there a better way to do this? Like, I feel like there has to be somewhere we can put this energy.
My thought was, and again, I'm not a traffic engineer. I'm a Monday morning quarterback. Well, not Monday. Well, it is Monday morning, but you know what I mean. Is that I look at this stuff every day, and during that month-long thing during the summer we had, I was like, well, maybe we keep the express lanes open in the southbound direction for an hour or two to let some of the lion's share of that traffic come south, because most of the traffic northbound that time of day hadn't gotten backed up yet by not having the express lanes go northbound. Maybe we keep them open till 7:30 to get some of that traffic. So we have a 30-minute delay as opposed to an hour delay, and then maybe 15 going north, so you kind of spread it around a little bit. And this is Julie Meredith, the head of the Department of Transportation, on why that's not a good idea.
It's a better system while we have the closures in place.
Let me say that again. There's a longer version of this. Let me actually pull that so
Take
not
your time.
not
Take your time.
There has to be some sort of reasoning, right? Not just
Okay, here we go. I asked James, our good buddy James Lynch, because they held a press conference on this last week. I couldn't go because it was right at 9, and so I had him ask that very question.
Why not have those lanes accessible to incoming traffic?
Why not have those lanes accessible during the morning commute?
The lanes will be open in the northbound direction while we have the 2-lane closures. It's not as easy as flipping a switch to switch them, and so we found that it operates better if we maintain a consistent system rather than take them out of service in order to do the flip the switch back and forth. So it's a better system while we have the closures in place.
Tell that to the drivers.
I'm sorry, but we've landed a man on the moon. There are things that we can get done. I can't imagine that if there was a will, there wouldn't be a way to get it done.
Do you think there's an attitude of, well, maybe people should just take public transit?
Well, of course, they promoted that. And, of course, if it works for you, that's great. I mean,
It doesn't work for everybody.
Well, though, and here's the other thing that's about that is it's not just as easy as jumping on light rail, especially out of the north end. I mean, I live up there, and that, say you go to Linwood and you're going to jump on light rail, that garage is full by 7 a.m. now. Today it was probably full by 6:30. Tomorrow it may be full by 6. So by the time you think you're going to roll out of bed and catch light rail and go to the garage, there's going to be a spot for you, and then you're going to have to drive anyway. It's great if transit works for you, but in this instance, we got a lake on two sides of us.
Yeah.
It is kind of what it is, but I think it is somewhat short-sighted for the DOT to not maybe leave this open. They would only take one more switch than we have today.
Yeah.
Instead of, we switch it at 5 a.m., okay, great. We switch it at 5 a.m. like we do most days. And then instead of switching it back at 11, we switch it at 7:30.
Yeah.
Just so we spread the pain around.
Exactly.
So it's not an hour for one group of people, 10 minutes for another, and then 30 on the alternate. There's a way to do it, and it seems like their heels are dug in on this pretty heavily.
Okay. You said it's still a problem as we speak right now. I mean, I just got a text message from Layla who says, "Yeah, I'm in it right now." So,
our good friend Layla.
Yeah. So
who's making lunch today? If she's stuck, if she's stuck there, who's making her fabulous meals right now? If she's stuck,
she owns a restaurant. So So the question would be, like, are employers going to be
that
showing grace and saying, all these people
Amazon's
coming
RTO
in late?
mandate is being enforced as of January 5th.
Well, that was my next question was there any indication that there was coordination with various employers?
No.
During
Well, the thing is they should have known. I'm sure there probably was, but this is something that very few people have been talking about other than us, that this was going to be, and all the focus is on, 2 northbound lanes, when the real impact is on the southbound direction. Every day. I mean, right now we still have a 5.5 mile backup from 175th all the way down to about 85th. And we still have a lot more people on 405 down through Canyon Park into Bothell than we normally would have. And this is, extending, into the 11 o'clock hour. And so, this is our reality going forward, and we have 5 months of this.
Can I make a suggestion? Because I know that you've written permission slips before for drivers who had unmanageable traffic and their bosses need to know why they're late to work. I'm pitching you on just creating a template on mynorthwest.com.
Okay, yes.
Just a blank permission slip. If you don't believe why this employee is late, I, Chris Sullivan, attest that it's going to be like this for months.
Yes.
Sure, I'll do it. Because my wife almost had to leave this morning at the same time I did to go to work. She off shift. She asked her boss if she could start an hour earlier because that's what I told her she probably needed to do to avoid this.
And she got the okay?
Yeah. And I told her tomorrow maybe a half an hour. I think she might be able to, she got to the office at 5:30. Like if you got there by 6, I think you'd be okay. Not that I don't mind sharing the bathroom with her at the same time in the morning. We've never ever had to do that. But yeah, it's just, that's the best thing you could do. Try to off shift if you can. I know most employers may not be good with that. Again, it's almost for this whole year if you think about it. We're only taking 6 weeks off during the World Cup, and then in July we're going to do this all the way through the end of the year.
425 wants to know, why can't we use a 24-hour work schedule to shorten the calendar in terms of the work?
Well, they are working 20. They are working in those lanes the whole time. Yeah, just this last weekend they shut it down the whole, entirely. Now, I guess you could shut down the Ship Canal Bridge entirely and do the whole thing, but just imagine what that would look like. Because, you could, but then the only access would be to, say, use the northbound express lanes the whole time. We'd still have the same issue southbound, but it would be much, much worse getting into the city to do that. I think they're trying to do the best they can to keep the infrastructure open. Again, that's what happens when we've got 2 lakes, mountains, and a sound. There just aren't. This isn't Phoenix. There aren't other options to get around based on our topography.
Yeah. This is just a classic example, in my opinion, of why the public sector and the private sector need to work together.
Yes.
And there's no reason like WashDOT and the various companies like, hey, we have this big thing coming up. Let's come up with a plan together. And I don't see enough of that.
Well, to be fair, Seattle and King County employees are still working, 2 days in the office?
No, they're up to 3 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But,
wow, nice.
I'm not going to go down that path right now. However,
different discussion.
Yeah, that's a different discussion. However, I am just not willing to buy it's too difficult to switch.
I'm not either.
And
I'm going to keep pressing on that.
Exactly.
Believe me,
so it's
I am.
Okay, what does that look like if you had to do the switch? If you look, because if this is going to be 2 years of this, that's a lot of money.
Well, this year is probably going to be, we'll have to wait and see what it would, because next year they're going to be going southbound. Okay, next year they're going to be doing the Ship Canal Bridge in the southbound direction. So whether that will have the effect that it's having now for the drivers going northbound, we'll have to wait and see. But they're not used to having the express lanes open in the morning. It'd probably be more of an afternoon commutes thing for next year. Say you're going to a ball game and you're coming up from Tukwila, you'll probably run into it there because you're driving into not having the express lanes and things like that later in the day. It's a pick, Peter or Paul, who we robbing here.
There you go.
Where's it going to go? But right now it's the southbound drivers that are taking it.
Now, Dave in Snohomish County, who is always very pragmatic, says the repairs are going to happen. Traffic is going to be bad. Talk to your boss. He says, I'll get up earlier, but let's not fixate on this.
So in other words, we're sounding like whiny babies? Is that the deal? I don't know. Someone said, why don't they at least remove the toll through the tunnel in 99 during this project?
Because that's bonded against construction payments. So they can't by law do that, where they could say on 167 or 405, because those are express toll and congestion pricing models. They can't do it on stuff where the money's going back to pay for the improvements.
And last I checked, we have a budget deficit on top of everything
By
else.
the way, coming up in Choke Points tomorrow morning, I'll be discussing what they're going to do with the CCA money or not, and a really interesting idea of how to make up for some gas tax revenue.
Okay,
that might be discussed in the legislature.
Okay, we'll look forward to that. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, and hang in there, everybody. We'll keep you company.
Yes.
We'll keep you company.
Yes. Okay, speaking of the legislature, again, I haven't had a chance to talk to you about this either, but there are two controversial initiatives that have basically gathered enough signatures to now make it. They're not going to. The legislature has decided they're not going to make a decision. They're not going to hold hearings on it. They're just going to have it go straight to voters.
Right, because we've been down this road before. It was passed by they got enough petitions. Then the legislature fixed what the people had done.
Yes. So there was a whole
quotes.
Yeah, there were a whole slate of different initiatives, and then now these two are ones that they're coming back with, and one is dealing with parental rights in public schools, and the other is banning trans girls from competing in girls' sports. So it's having to verify that you are not biologically male if you are going to be competing in girls' sports. And so the decision not to take it up in the legislature basically means it's going to head to the November ballot, assuming all the signatures are verified. And Senate Majority Leader Jamie Peterson says lawmakers are not going to pass the initiatives. The choice should be left to voters. So I
think that's right. And, I haven't had a chance to thoroughly research the bill related to banning trans athletes, but I did get a chance to look at the Parents' Bill of Rights, and most of it sounds pretty reasonable to me. I remember voting in favor of it before. The one where, schools must notify parents before providing certain medical or support services, I think that was the thing that the legislature had moved before, if I'm correct. So I actually am for this. And the thing that I would like to debate is it has opt-out rights. Parents can opt their child out of surveys or assignments involving sexual activity, family beliefs, political views, or instruction on sexual activity. And my response is, I'm just wondering how much or how often this happens to the point where it's disruptive. And if you don't like the curriculum where it's so pervasive that you disagree with it, maybe that's where private school or homeschool or Christian school or whatever your beliefs might be the way to go, because I could see how that could get disruptive, very disruptive to whatever the curriculum is. I would say go be part of isn't there like a curriculum committee at your child's school where you can kind of weigh in and have a voice in that process?
Yeah, and so both Gee and I weighed in on this last week, and both of us have misgivings. And I'll just speak for myself. I have misgivings with both initiatives, but ultimately I understand why they're being put forward, and I would likely approve of them. But the pushback on both of them is that, my kids come from a stable family. So let's talk about the parental rights thing. And there are
there are awful parents out there.
There are awful. So basically, what some teachers were saying is, you don't understand that there are some parents that really these kids would be in harm's way if we were to tell them everything. And there's certain things that are shared with us that that could be the difference between life and death for this kid. I mean, for example. And so they were saying, for you, it's hard for you to understand because you're a stable household. And I understand that, and I'm reflecting on that, but ultimately it doesn't change my mind, because I just know as a parent with a kid in school, I would want to know these things. And while I would hope that you could find a way to address those other situations.
Yeah, by calling, if someone is in that much danger, being able to call CPS and hope that it would do its job in terms of protecting the kids.
Right. And then the other part on the trans athletes, and again,
let's talk about that because I want to know more.
And unfortunately, we don't have a ton of time, but again, we're talking about 5, maybe 10 trans athletes in high school sports in the state of Washington. The number of people we're talking about is so small, but yet this has been such a polarizing and such a divisive topic. And I think to insist that trans girls are still allowed to compete against in girls' sports almost does more harm to the trans community. This is my opinion, because it gives cover for people who are anti-trans. Do you know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Like by making this the hill that
rod, right?
But here's the question: is this just banning trans girls, period, or is it based on your like? What is it based on? Because for me, like, I'm less concerned about how you were born, because there can be so many complexities to that, and I'm more concerned about where your hormones are at. Because if you've got the hormones of a, let's say, I'm getting judgment.
I'll read from you.
Thank you. I'm
getting
a
student who elects. This is from the bill. A student who elects to participate in individual or team competition intended for female students shall provide, as part of required routine sports physical examination, a statement signed by the student's personal health care provider that verifies their biological sex, relying on one of these criteria: the student's reproductive anatomy, genetic makeup, or normal and endogenously produced testosterone levels. So we're talking either blood tests or a genital exam.
I'm fine with testing testosterone. That's it. Outside of that, there are too many complexities with that stuff from a medical perspective, so that doesn't make sense. But testosterone, I think that. But here's the thing: there are some girls, like biological girls, that have high testosterone. So how do you? But
that's not what they're trying to address here.
I know.
And unfortunately, it ends up feeling like it's.
But see, it's a small amount.
We are supporters of the trans community.
100%.
Yeah, and yet I feel like I know that it is controversial to say that I would vote in favor of this, but I do it with the idea that I just don't want them to continue to be a point of attack. And we're talking about such a small number of students is there a way to make it more fair?
Okay, let me just say this. Oh, we have to go. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, we'll bring it up again. Yeah,
okay.
we're 3 minutes late, but we will bring it up again for sure. Text us 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/22/26, new customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from less. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, start with a free T-check exam and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
That's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchie's Worry-Free Warranty.
Wrenchie's what?
Worry-Free Warranty.
Which means?
When it wears out, we replace it.
No extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life?
For as long as you're an A-List member. You get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchie's
Worry-Free Warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchie's Worry-Free Warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchie.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. It's here, the commuting chaos that is Revive I-5. Roadwork has shut down 2 lanes of Seattle Ship Canal Bridge northbound. Express lanes are fixed northbound.
It's a better system while we have the closures in place.
State Transportation Secretary Julie Meredith, but this is putting major pressure on your southbound commute. Details coming up in traffic. Road crews are making good progress on US 2 after last month's historic flooding. Over the weekend, WashDOT fully reopened the highway between Stevens Pass and Coles Corner. Tumwater Canyon between Coles Corner and Leavenworth is still closed. The state legislature convenes today for their newest session, and they're facing some big challenges, including a projected $2 to $2.5 billion shortfall. Democratic House Speaker Lori Jenkins blames federal policies for some of this.
I think, President Trump's tariffs are causing much higher inflation in the state. They're causing a lot of uncertainty because they go back and forth daily, so there's no way for our business community to really plan for or around them.
Republicans counter that Washington's affordability crisis stems from state policies, pointing out we have the second highest gas prices, 4th highest grocery bills, and 3rd highest cost of living in the nation. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell not flinching, even though the Justice Department is threatening to indict him over cost overruns on a Fed building project. Powell says Trump is just trying to pressure him into lowering interest rates.
Public service sometimes requires standing firm in the face of threats. I will continue to do the job the Senate confirmed me to do, with integrity and a commitment to serving the American people.
President Trump has been briefed on options for defending people in Iran who are protesting amid an economic crisis. And now Trump says
Iran called to negotiate. Yesterday, the leaders of Iran called. They want to negotiate.
Trump is scheduled to meet with Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado at the White House Thursday. Trump has declined to endorse her as president of Venezuela. U.S. forces arrested the last president there on drug trafficking charges. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 13 points. NASDAQ ahead 95. KIRO News Radio traffic. Adding to your southbound I-5 misery, there is a disabled vehicle blocking a lane on I-5 southbound at Northgate. Roadwork has closed 2 lanes on the I-5 Ship Canal Bridge. Express lanes are open northbound. Everett to Seattle, your trip is 65 minutes. That's better than earlier, but 39 longer than usual. And you're backed up through Shoreline. If you're taking I-405 south, it's also about 66 minutes, 40 longer than usual. Traffic brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Save $600 off windows and $1,500 off doors. LakeWashingtonWindows.com. KIRO News Radio weather. Cloudy skies with highs in the low 50s today. It is 51 right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. And I love what you said a few minutes ago. You said this was some of the best advice when it comes to decluttering
It is.
that you've ever heard.
It is. This comes to us from the Washington Post. So I won't reveal all of it in the spirit of someone worked on this article, but I do want to share a few things with you. And the big takeaway is that if your home is feeling cluttered despite your best efforts, you might want to dig a little deeper into like your feelings and your mental, like how you doing. So they consulted with professional organizers and gave 16 common organizing pitfalls. So 16 of them, and so many of them resonated. For one, make everything special. You make everything special. They said if everything is special, then nothing is. You can't honor memories by stuffing them into a closet. Choose
That's a
the best.
humongous one.
Yeah, choose the best and let the rest go. I keep all these cards, Christmas cards, birthday cards.
Or how about just those cards that you got with family pictures, all these people? It's hard for me to throw those away.
Up.
I know, but I do throw them away. I mean, I enjoy them through the holidays. And it's like, you know what? Gotta let them go.
Okay. So does that resonate? I mean, so you can relate to this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I've become brutal, though, in recent years, and I'll explain why.
Here's one. You're babying your adult children. So in other words, my mother has kept things that belong to all of us. And so these organizers saying if your child cares about this, make them pick it up and take it home. But you shouldn't be storing all of your kids' stuff. If your kid is 35,
I feel
it's time
so called
for them.
out right now.
Do you really? So tell us about that, Andrew.
I live with my parents. That's why.
So
they still have my brother's baseball cards and like all of the stuff they listed in there. Yeah, that's relatively common.
Yeah, it's very common.
And there's a reason why we don't take it home if we don't live with our folks. It's because we don't really care about it, but we want to let mom and dad hang on to it just because.
Yes. So when our oldest son was a baby, my mother-in-law brought out things from Mark's childhood, and I was actually able to use a couple of his articles of clothing that she had preserved, which was so sweet. Some of his Matchbox cars, those came in handy. I mean, and some books that were classics, that was great. But I'm not going to be doing that for my grandkids. I finally started getting rid of a lot of that stuff that I was holding on to, a lot of the baby stuff, because people end up wanting to get new stuff anyway. And maybe one item would be good, but having a whole closet full of those things.
But see, there's not a part of you, like my mom saved my baby shoes and I didn't. And I'm like, there's not a part of you that wants to see their first shoes or their, because I didn't.
Yeah, no, there is a part of you.
That's an emotional thing, right?
That is an emotional thing. But how often do you enjoy it? The one time you see it, it's great. But then what? Then it just becomes clutter in your closet.
But baby shoes are tiny, right? So that's a relatively low cost.
I can't imagine, though, getting rid of their art. I mean, yeah, so I have emotional problems.
Oh, my gosh. How much art do you have?
A ton.
Like how many boxes?
Probably.
I have one box.
I have one.
I have one box.
Just one box?
Yes. Yes. Okay, so what are they? What else are they saying?
Okay. You have a bad case of the just in cases. Just in case what? If you have not used something recently and can't think of a time when you use it again, it's time to let it go. And I do just in case. Absolutely. One other one. Oh, this is a practical one. You buy storage products before you have decluttered. And so you end up with bins full of the same unwanted stuff. So they say declutter first, then get the actual bin.
Because then you know what exactly you need.
And here's another practical one. Don't you dare put that bag down. When you come in the house after shopping, you have to immediately put things away.
I do that all the time.
You put it down?
Oh, I have to. No,
you put it away.
I put it away.
Good. You sound very
I am
decluttered.
good now. I am good now, and I've been brutal. And why is that? Because I helped unload my parents' things when they had to downsize.
When they had to downsize.
Yeah, and we're talking a 3,000 square foot home that was filled to the brim. Like everything was a beautiful memory for my dad, and I totally understand it. And it was heartbreaking to have to tell him we've got to either donate this or sell this or throw it away. And it was, I was thinking that I would write a book called But I Need That Red Fondue Pot. When you deal with someone who's downsizing, it was like there were 5 different fondue pots. And I was like trying to explain to my dad, you only need one. But each one had a memory, and you look like you're devastated right now.
Because it's so much deeper. It makes me realize this is so much deeper.
It is.
It's about these things we're holding on to and life changing and this new phase of life.
Yes. And I felt like a horrible daughter when I told my dad, he said, you're telling me to erase my memories. And I was like, no, I'm telling you that what ended up happening initially, we had 6 storage units. 6. It took me 2. You're laughing, but it took me.
Wild.
It took me 2 years to get it down to 1. We've been paying on 1 storage unit for years because of this very thing.
But if this one other fondue pot had a memory, like how do you? No,
I know.
Well, when do you start getting rid of things that you just know they're not going to notice if they're missing?
Well, but here's the crazy thing. He did notice when I got rid of a couple of things. It's like,
and you got busted?
That's the red fondue pot. That was exactly it. And so the answer is, what you need to do is ask yourself, and this is kind of the Marie Kondo version, like, have you used it? She says, does it bring you joy? Have you used it in the last year? If the answer is no, what are the chances? The other thing, the piece of advice is that you're going to lose the weight. You know how many times I've had to declutter my closet?
Yeah, the losing the weight thing is big. Thinking you'll lose weight so you save the thing that doesn't fit. And they talked about honoring the current version of yourself.
Yes.
And not just with weight, but let's say if you're keeping your baseball bat, then it's like, are you playing baseball now? So they're just making the point that when you let go of anything that isn't a tool for the life you're living now, you'll be living in a home rather than a storage space.
Or your future self. Do you have anything in your house that you totally plan to tackle that project someday or get involved in this thing? I got a lot of that stuff.
A couple of people texted in with great advice, and this is what organizers tell you too. Take pictures of items that have meaning, and then you have them in the cloud, but they're not cluttering your house.
Yep. And the thing is, when I do that, because I have
Especially
to,
those cards.
It's smart. You don't go back and look at them anyway.
Exactly.
And so it really is a mind. This is so deep. I'm glad we had this discussion.
It's a process.
Write that book.
I'm only getting to it now. I'm only able to talk about it now. And that's years later. Because I just felt like I was taking away, my parents' memories.
Yeah,
my mom
but
didn't
you did
care.
The right thing.
My dad cared a lot more.
Oh,
okay. Still ahead, scenarios where we solve other people's problems. This is the Gee and Ursula Show.
After a slugfest to win the NFL's toughest division, the number 1 seed Seahawks' first playoff opponent, naturally an NFC West rival.
And Purdy goes down inside the 15-yard line.
Seahawks, 49ers, Saturday and Lumen will be rocking.
All teed up.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle. And KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM and the KIRO News Radio app.
Paid political announcement.
More than half of short-term rentals across Washington are booked by Washingtonians. Families traveling for their children's tournaments and games. Firefighters fighting wildfires. Traveling nurses providing critical care. Every day, short-term rentals are helping make travel more affordable. Legislators in Olympia are considering increasing taxes on short-term rentals. But with the cost of everything going up, we can't take another price increase. Keep travel affordable for us. Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive host pack.
Excite Fight Live MMA brings you a night of raw adrenaline and heart-pounding action. See the fiercest fighters go head-to-head at Muckleshoot Casino Resort at 7 p.m. on Saturday, January 31st. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours before they're gone at MuckleshootCasino.com. It's a fight night like you wouldn't believe. Don't miss Live MMA Saturday, January 31st at Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
At Skyline, senior living never sounded so good. The world feels bigger when you stay connected to ideas, to culture, to the things you love. We designed Skyline for today's older adults who celebrate life rooted in the city, not apart from it. At Seattle's only true life care community, premier music venues, museums, and culinary gems are just steps away. Urban senior living has an address. Discover it all at SkylineSeattle.org.
Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RIDER. Code RIDER.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign. And so I saw the accident coming and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions. 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Hartley here from Wilcox Family Farms. I'm so excited to have my cousin Amelia with me today. So I saw that you visited the baby chicks.
I got to hold 7 of them. They were so cute.
Do you know why Wilcox chickens are so happy?
Because they get to play outside?
Yes.
Happy chickens are healthy chickens.
From our farm to your table, Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh
since 1909.
Fall rains can expose hidden roof problems, and once water gets in, the damage only gets worse. Is your roof ready for the season? Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. At State Roofing and Exteriors, we repair and replace roofs with a quality you've trusted for decades. And yes, we also provide siding, windows, decks, and gutters to keep your entire home protected. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule a free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
If you're hurt in a car accident, call Harold Car Law Offices right away. They'll save you time and get you more money from insurance while you're able to focus on recovering. Visit carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call CAR.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
It is 10:49. You're listening to the Gee and Ursula Show, and it's time for scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
Hello, I need some advice about my boyfriend and his relationship with his sister. They both share an apartment, a situation he originally said was temporary, but now has lasted 3 years. Early on, she was clearly jealous of the time he spent with me. For example, when I'd spend the night, she would make a god-awful racket in the morning. My boyfriend confirmed this, telling me she never made smoothies or ground her coffee beans daily, except for when I spent the night. We spend most of our time at our place now, and I'd love to move in together, but he says his sister can't afford a place on her own. At a family dinner recently, the waiter asked about dessert while my boyfriend was in the restroom. I told the waiter he'd love the chocolate lava cake. His sister let out a sigh and said, "No, he won't. He's off chocolate right now. He tells me everything." And she ordered him the lemon tart instead. When he got back, he ate it without question, and she patted my hand and said, "Don't feel bad. There's a whole manual for living with him that you just haven't read yet." I fumed. When I brought it up with my boyfriend, he protested, telling me, "You know my sister and I are really close, but I'm feeling like I'm at the end of my rope." Ursula, what should I do?
First of all, he is not living up to the promise that it was only going to be for a few months. And the relationship is suffering now as a result of that. Where I can understand why the girlfriend feels like she is playing second fiddle to the sister, and the sister is meddling. So I would have what you would call a come to Jesus meeting with the boyfriend and basically say, "I'm not okay with this. I have you said 3 years they've been living together? And he needs to have a plan to either move out and move in with her, or I'm just going to conclude he's just not that into you. It's never going to change."
And you know what? At the end, that's such a great point. This made me pivot. First of all, this is all just kind of weird to me.
Why?
The whole dessert thing and see, I know he likes this. It just feels really weird. It's like it's not that deep, y'all. It's dessert. And so this makes me wonder. But family is so important when folks get married. And if someone doesn't like someone that you're about to get married to, it is a big issue. Because even if he were to put up boundaries with the sister and change things around, I think I would probably encourage him to have a talk with the sister to just see, hey, can we just have a real talk? Like, what's going on? And it could be the sister does not like her. And it's just like, you know what? I don't, and it's hard to sustain a relationship when the people closest to you don't like the person you're with.
I think there's like a special weird place in hell for the siblings who are too attached to their other sibling. Like she clearly doesn't like the girlfriend. She clearly thinks like she is the most important woman in his life. And on the reverse, like there are often guys who, hey, if you want to date my sister, and then they like, make the person who dates them like prove that they're good enough. I think there's an obsessive, weird level of interest that some siblings have in each other, an investment in their lives, and like trying to block or be passive aggressive with your siblings' relationship is just strange. It gives me the icks, honestly.
Yeah, that's why I said it's weird.
Yeah.
And I see what both of you are saying. I actually think it can be charming when a sibling is protective and wants the best, when it truly is wanting the best. Because sometimes when you're in love, you can be dumb in love, and you don't see that this person might not be the right person. But in this case, it's a rooming situation. It sounds like she's intentionally trying to make the girlfriend feel jealous, and the brother sounds like he is weak, hasn't been putting any kind of boundaries down. And it sounds to me like he's just, again, not that into her. So either you give him an out and you say, I need to have you out by this time because I don't know if any amount of talking to your sister, because it also sounds like she wants to be together with him. But this speaks to a broader question of what do you do when you're in a relationship and you're not too thrilled with your potential future in-laws? Do you still move forward? I mean, is that a deal breaker?
It's not a deal breaker, but it should be a big factor. Everything else should be perfect.
Okay, Nick.
Well, if I'm the girlfriend dealing with this click-feeling family vibe I'm getting, I'd be looking for other prospects at this point, because this seems like a bond that is very hard to break, and there's nothing wrong with the dynamic. To each their own. But if you want to be close with him, the sister might charge in and say otherwise to keep her status with the brother. Maybe the coming to Jesus moment helps, but the old saying goes family first, and I think it'll defend the sis over you. So good luck with that.
Text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Seems like those who have texted in so far are saying, T and Conway says, dude is married to his sister. Run far and run fast. Sarah and Sumner says, dump his you-know-what. The sister won't ever go away. A lot of people are saying just bail.
Because it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, it did feel a little icky. Okay, still ahead, we've got more of the Gee and Ursula Show. Stay with us.
Seattle voters wanted change.
I campaigned on affordability, on homelessness, on taxing the rich.
Can Mayor Wilson live up to the promises of candidate Wilson?
The self-proclaimed progressive socialist
managing high expectations. Trusted Northwest News voices you depend on.
More government programs, which means more tax dollars.
KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, start with a free T-check exam and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
This is a test of your emergency alert system.
John Curley here. You know that moment when your house feels colder than it should? You turn up the thermostat and nothing? For over a decade, I've trusted the team at Home Comfort Alliance. They show up when they say they will, and they get straight to work, and they do it right. They've been keeping homes comfortable for over 40 winters. Remember, for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, including standby generators, call the Comfort People, Home Comfort Alliance, or visit homecomfortalliance.com.
Gee and Ursula agreed to disagree.
This is happening until we do a better job at addressing affordable housing.
We're spending more money on homelessness, and yet it does keep getting worse.
Weekday mornings at 11:06 on KIRO News Radio.
Start the new year taking active liver supplements from New Nordic. Online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com or at CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour. Your home for original reporting.
Sorry about that. Technical problems. We'll get right to local news. Firefighters to the rescue when puppies overdosed on fentanyl. That story coming up. But first, KIRO News Radio traffic. In Bellevue, a disabled truck still has the I-90 off-ramp to I-405 blocked. Roadwork has 2 lanes on the I-5 Ship Canal Bridge closed. Express lanes open northbound, which is putting pressure on your southbound commute. Everett to Seattle travel time much improved over earlier, but it's still 51 minutes, 25 longer than usual, and you're backed up to Pinehurst. If you're taking I-405 south, it's about an hour's drive, half an hour longer than usual. Traffic brought to you by Closet by Design. Custom storage solutions for closets, garages, home offices, and more. ClosetsByDesign.com.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Major construction during your commute. 2 lanes are closed on I-5 northbound over Seattle Ship Canal Bridge for Revive I-5 road work, and the express lanes will remain open northbound until June. This commuter from Cedro Woolley tells KIRO's 7 TV.
Some days are okay, and some days it might take an hour and 45, or it might take 2.5 or whatever, but it's just traffic either way.
After a pause for the World Cup in June, the closure will resume in July. State lawmakers in Olympia get back to work today as they begin a legislative session by diving straight into some tough questions, including balancing the budget.
Republicans like Representative Travis Couture blame Democrats for creating a multi-billion-dollar budget shortfall.
We don't have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem. We have never had more revenue in the state of Washington than we do right at this very moment.
Governor Ferguson is proposing a supplemental budget that includes about $800 million in cuts and nearly $1 billion from the Rainy Day Fund. Ferguson also wants to create a tax on millionaires that will generate, he says, $3.5 billion a year. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Police are searching for the thief who made off with more than $40,000 worth of Pokemon cards after smashing into Mugu Games in Everett. Store owner Michael Doran tells KIRO 7 TV this is not the first time they've been hit.
We've been broken into 4 times. We've been armed robbed once. We've had multiple snatch and grabs of thousands of dollars worth of product.
He wants the crooks, when caught, to be held accountable to deter others. 6 puppies rescued from a fentanyl overdose. Someone brought 3 of the ill pups to Sky Valley Fire Station 54, where firefighters administered Narcan and oxygen to them. Later, Snohomish County deputies found and treated 3 more puppies at the home where the first 3 had come from. Time for a rematch.
Seattle is going to win this football game. The defense holding the Niners to 3 points.
The Hawks trouncing San Francisco earlier this month. We now know the Seahawks will take on the 49ers again for their first playoff game in Seattle Saturday.
KIRO News Radio weather, cloudy skies today with highs in the low 50s. It's 51 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. He will be back tomorrow, but Angela Poe Russell is in.
Yes, good morning. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It has been a very, I like to call it a meat-filled show.
Yes,
it's
meaty.
been kind of heavy today, but we are going to have a little fun. Coming up later in this segment, we're going to talk about a big trip that you just recently took.
Yes.
And this is going to be the first time I hear you talk about it.
Right, I haven't shared much of it all. Yes.
I know.
Okay.
So I look forward to that. Also, at 11:30, we will do Agree to Disagree. Text us. Our text line is open for you, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
How much are you paying attention to the upcoming World Cup and understanding like how big of an event this is going to be
I definitely get how big it is, but I'm paying attention to the extent that like we're supposed to be hosting it.
Yes.
And so what are we,
yes, what's
how are we
going to
manage this?
Yeah,
yes, especially we have new leadership in the city.
Yes. And the conversations I've been hearing, a lot of folks are saying, hey, I've been debating whether I'm going to do Airbnb and rent out my place because there are going to be so many people here needing places to live, et cetera, et cetera. But another thing that I'm seeing a lot of is this growing number of calls to boycott the FIFA World Cup, which is going to be hosted all across the United States, including in Seattle, also in Canada, also in Mexico. And this push is gaining traction, as you can imagine, with all the things that are going on surrounding immigration and foreign policy. And critics are pointing to rising fears among international visitors. I don't know if you've been seeing this, but, especially again, after what happened last week in Minnesota and the basically the recent military actions abroad and threats aimed at Mexico. I mean, there's just a whole host of things.
I love the idea of putting yourself in someone else's shoes.
Yes.
So have you ever just been sitting at home and you're looking at the news and you see something happening in another country? Let's just pick one.
Yes.
Let's say something's happening in Greece and something's going like really bad happening. You're like, oh my gosh, it's really bad there.
Yeah.
That's what people are doing to us. Okay?
Exactly.
And it's not just what's happening with immigration, but just the shootings, the mass shootings, the gun violence. People already have that perception of us. And so sometimes it's hard to be objective because we're in it.
Yeah.
But trust me, that is so. But let's put that aside because FIFA, we've known the World Cup is coming.
Yes.
We knew about potential for shootings. We have security, all of that. But if you're a person coming from another country, wouldn't you be kind of concerned? Am I going to get detained because of the way I look? Now, President Trump has, as I understand it, has worked with FIFA on some kind of process for being a guest. But still, could I be targeted just because of my accent or the way I look and then having to answer to that and show my badge or show my pass?
Well, and that's what I'm curious about because you hear a lot of, oh, yeah, I am fearful, or yeah, I'm thinking twice. But I also know that FIFA and the World Cup has faced similar kind of pressures before, or boycott pressures or calls to boycott. In 2022 in Qatar, there were human rights concerns. So there were, it's always going to be politically charged. What's unusual is it's the U.S. in this case being the ones, where people are saying, "Are y'all okay over there?"
Yeah.
And I'm not enough of a soccer fan to say whether that would, determine. I have gone to countries where there is an international traveler advisory, and they'll say, for example, Mexico. How many times do you hear like, okay, be warned because there are gangs
Same for
and
South
drugs,
Africa.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right, which is where you just recently were, and so I don't know that it's going to be enough to actually deter people from coming more than any other situation, because I think if you're determined to do it, you're going to find justifications and reasons why you're going to be okay.
Well,
That's
and the
such a
people
great
who are
point.
coming here for it are really the rich and the privileged
There you
from
go.
around the world. And that subset of people does not generally consider themselves in a position where something like that could happen to me.
Yeah,
they
that's
usually
true.
figure like whatever law enforcement abuses, crackdowns, etc.
I'll call my lawyer.
Yes.
Yeah. And how are you feeling, though, about the World Cup?
In terms of?
Okay, just what it's going to do for our region, both traffic-wise, economy-wise.
Well, now that I know what's going on with I-5, I'm a little concerned.
Well, they're going to pause it during that.
Yes.
You know what I'm more interested in? I know when we had, what was the big baseball event we had? Was it All-Stars?
Yes, All-Star game.
And how Mayor Harrell was in charge, and he magically downtown.
No, he wasn't.
Magically, everything was just cleaned up.
Well, remember, and it was also with Taylor Swift. Is that the one?
I think so. It was all this, and magically
Yes.
everything was cleaned up. The city looked sparkling and new. Guests were coming, and we cleaned up for the guests. So now we have Mayor Katie Wilson, and I'm just curious if she's going to try to clean it up, or if she's going to, because she's different. She's different.
Well, although she's already met with the organizers, the Seattle group that's organizing the World Cup events over here. Oh, I mean,
but is she willing to do a sweep?
Well,
Is she going to roust people for special circumstances?
Yeah. Now, she has said that she's not in favor
No.
of the sweeping the encampments. So it will be interesting to see what happens there. But I mean,
Because to be clear, let me get you finished, and I'll tell you something.
well, I was just going to say, overall, I feel very excited about World Cup coming.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that all the people here have a great experience, and but I am worried about traffic. I am worried about.
It's 3 weeks, right?
So isn't it 6 games? They're hosting 6 games. I don't have the exact dates in front of me right now.
You should go on one of your fancy vacations for some of it.
I have some fancy, just vacations.
Yeah, vacations,
I have
yeah.
some coming up, but they're not gonna. The time to be here
is during those few months.
During those
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no place that can beat the Pacific Northwest, and particularly the Puget Sound region during the summertime. Are you kidding me? That's when I stay put.
But you could rent your house, and with the proceeds, rent yourself a house in Chelan.
This is true. This is true.
Go for
Giving
it.
us ideas.
Okay, well, speaking of all this international news, so you did recently take a trip. So tell us.
I did. So I went to, my daughter spent a semester in Johannesburg at the African Leadership Academy. And so we wanted to be there for graduation. We're like, we have to see this in person. It would be so great to see it. And I will say, in full disclosure, it was not a deep dive for us because of some family situations. We had to cut the trips short. So we were only there for literally that long of a trip for 5 days. Like, we almost spent more time in the air. And then Vic got sick. And then 2 days later, I got sick. So we were so it was one of those. But so I want to say, like, we didn't do a deep dive. But what we did do, I do have some takeaways. The thing that I could not get over was just how recent some of the discrimination was. Like the fact that we're just talking 1994 it ended. And just to give you a sense for how pervasive it was there, my husband was not black. Here they would call him black.
Yeah.
There he's colored. And that is a
And they use
different
the term
category.
colored.
Oh, yeah. There he's colored. I'm black. And then Andrew, you be white. You might be colored. And they use that because that is what they used during apartheid. It was literally a classification. And you were treated differently based on your classification. So even in jail, for example, which we saw a replica of, if you were white, you got this meal. If you were colored, you got this meal. And if you were black, you got this meal. There were people imprisoned just because they didn't, if you were black and you didn't have a pass, you had to have a pass to go around the streets, to have permission to be on the street. And so it makes, again.
I mean, 1990s.
Right. And so I guess I say all this to say that humans are humans. And if you ever think that we are not capable of going there, don't think that, because it's happened. It's happened here in the U.S. In fact, what they had there was very similar to here. The Jim Crow laws and apartheid, very similar. So let's see. I have my list because there were so many things I took away. going to this school, oh my goodness, I was just blown away. So this school attracts kids from all over the continent. So my daughter studied with kids from Malawi, from Kenya, from Zimbabwe. If you can imagine just being in school with all these different people. And I got to meet so many of them, and I was just blown away. I was just, you know how you talk to teenagers and it's like, they don't look you in the eye, don't shake your hand, you know, and these kids are like, look you in the eye, shake your hand, engage in conversation. How, like, just, I watched Maya's vocabulary improve while she was there. Her English improved while she was in LA and Johannesburg. Her writing improved while she was there.
How long was she there?
3 months, 3.5 months. And I watched all these metrics improve while she was there around these kids. And what's so devastating, and at some point, Maya's been so busy, but I do want her to come talk to you about it so you can get firsthand or maybe talk to some of the students there. But many of them had gotten entrance into colleges here in the U.S. So Duke, I mean, just name a school, Baylor, they'd gotten entrance. And now because of Trump's policies, they will not be able to go. Because, you know, he banned certain countries. And so if one of the kids at the school is from this African country, they can go. But if you're from this African country, you cannot go. And trust me, these are kids you want here. They are the brightest and most amazing people on the continent.
That's fascinating because, like, we have a pretty racist view of that entire continent. Oh, God. You know, the whole S-hole countries comment. And we neglect the fact that every single one of those countries has a vast swath of their populations who are educated, brilliant, working for better futures. I'm curious what questions they had for you as an American mom. Did they kind of plumb you for information?
No, I mean, it was so because I was just there for graduation. They don't let us spend a lot of time there. So it was more just pleasantries kind of thing. But you should talk to Maya because I
bet she got she got grilled.
She has had so much to talk about because it's a school that encourages civil discourse. So they talked a lot about President Trump. And one thing that really surprised her was one of her classmates from Kenya thought that President Trump was doing a good job. And, you know, she was like, wait, considering his policies towards your country and this continent, why are you feeling this way? But they were challenged to engage in civil discourse. And we're going to walk away as friends. But I'm going to understand your perspective.
And we need more of that.
We need more of it. No, I would... Honestly, there are a lot of kids who are like want to go there and spend another semester because it is, I just can't say enough good things about, I'm sad for those kids because they would make the schools here better. I get the argument when you have a state school or publicly funded school and you want to maybe have a cap on how many international students you take. Fair enough, totally. But going through the world and cherry picking different countries, you're basically putting a stereotype on an entire country, which is just dumb.
Well, and on top of that, it's like leaving out opportunities, as you mentioned, and you know people who could actually improve.
Oh wait, now see, someone's
here.
spreading misinformation. Oh gosh. Okay, so 253 is talking about the violence and killing of white farmers and ranchers. Okay, I would encourage you to research that and look up multiple sources. There are a lot of people killed in South Africa of all races, and mention like this is just. It's frustrating to me because this is, I'm trying to come up with the right word.
A racist political narrative.
Yeah. No, believe it or not, there's a whole area there in South Africa that's just like white people have said, this is kind of our space. Don't enter. Don't like it's.
Well, let's just put it this way. I mean, I've lived in many parts of the world. And racism is everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's not.
It's everywhere.
It's not just the United States. It's everywhere. Yeah.
No, but sadly. It was a great. It was. We want to go back, spend more time, and I'm excited for you guys to talk to Maya at some point. So
absolutely. Okay, I want to switch gears here because I want you to think about this. What score are you keeping that only makes you lose? I mean, this is a interesting question. Are you running a race right now that only runs you ragged in your own life? Like, what standard do you hold yourself to that only makes you feel like a failure? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because there's a new book reviewed by Bloomberg that argues how keeping score makes games fun and life miserable. And what it essentially says is, as kids, you remember, I mean, we had fun when the rules were just made up and we, allowed ourselves to have fun and just, to play with others. But right now, I mean, failing was expected then. Losing was funny. Failing, succeeding, learning, moving our bodies, that was the reward. But then you start scoring. I mean, and I immediately think of the CYO games where, should you run up the score? Should you not run up the score? Grades turn into rankings. That's a big thing. And I know that's something that you're like right in the
against
middle.
each other. We're competing against each
Rankings
other.
turn into metrics. Metrics goes into, who gets in, who gets out. Can you think of anything in your life right now where you're like, it'd be just better if I didn't keep score?
Yes. Okay, so this is an evolved point of view. I remember my daughter played club soccer, and I remember going to Vancouver and playing a game, and they weren't keeping score. And I was so frustrated. I was like, this is so soft. I'm like, kids need to know about winning and losing.
Yes.
You need to keep a score.
Life's not fair.
Right, right. You need to understand that. You need to understand it early, okay?
Yes.
Buckle up, buttercup. Like, this is life. But now, here's the problem with keeping score. It's not the winning and losing part. It's then what that does to the person. So all of a sudden, it's not about my development as a player.
Yes.
Or my development as a human. It is about winning. And so then you may keep a certain person in one position. You may not experiment. You may not take risk and fail because you are focused on winning. And so I do think there's a case to be made earlier on for letting people just play so that they can feel free to make mistakes and experiment.
Yes.
And because I think they'll be better players down the road.
I mean, you are in the thick of it right now because the daughter you were just talking about.
Oh, college, yeah.
With the whole college thing. I think that's where you see it so much, where the hyperachievers, the superachievers think that even a B+, anything below a 4.0 is
That's failure. Yeah, and sadly, it kind of is if you look in the eyes of some of these
it's
it's not. Well, totally it's not. It's not, but I'm just saying there's a system that's set up.
And that's the problem.
But I mean, I was looking at the common data set, and for those of you who don't follow this closely, schools have to release this information publicly. You can find it online, and the common data set. And it showed how many people have 4.0s going to these schools.
Yes.
70% is like an average of, so that's why when people talk about all these, they're like, well, my kid had this. And it's like, yeah, but a lot of people have it and they don't have enough spots.
It's true.
Right? So you're having to look at other things.
I would argue, though, given that situation and this idea that, oh my gosh, if you get anything below a 4.0, that's a failure. And your life is going to be so different because you're not going to be able to get into the so-called elite schools that only accept X, Y, Z. I think that is one of the most damaging things. And I say that as someone who bought into all of it with our older son because he was one of those hyperachievers. And I remember he had a concussion from football. I mean, this is a guy who was in leadership, did football, did all these different sports, was getting blah, blah, blah. And then he had a concussion. And he was taking AP chemistry, and he ended up getting a B+. And he thought that was the end of
the world.
The world. Like, oh my God, how am I going to get into any of these schools that I want? And ultimately, I think if you can explain that story, and talk about that experience, I mean, it's not even if he didn't get in and ultimately get into the school that he wanted to, which he did. But even if he didn't, I would say that you shouldn't feel like that is a failure.
Yeah.
Isn't this a particularly American way of life, an obsession, and coming in a large part from capitalism? And it's amplified by social media because, we talked about this last week, how even if you get the big sweet house that you love, as soon as somebody builds a bigger house in your block, your satisfaction goes down with the place that you live. We can see what is going on in everybody's life on social media.
So true.
And we're taught that there are winners and losers it doesn't matter actually in real life in a lot of places where you land so long as you are happy. Ironically, in church yesterday, we were learning about Trappist monks, and they have three tenets that they live by, and that is ordinary, silent, and laborious. And ordinary meaning you strive to do the best for yourself and live a simple life. It's not about comparing yourself to other people. It's about sharing your life with your community. And laborious meaning like you work hard every day with your hands, with your thoughts, with your intentions. And like the fruit of that will be a good life regardless of where other people end up.
And
it's that whole comparison.
I was going to say, that sounds great, but that's not how we're wired, especially in this country.
And let me I have to point this out. So one thing that came up, my daughter played on the soccer team at her school, and they were at a tournament. And so there were 10 American kids, living at the academy playing soccer. And the advisor says, all these American kids are just getting injured, like really, really injured. Yeah. And all the parents are like, yeah, no problem, keep going. And so she's from Australia, so she was kind of just pointing at, no, she's South African. Sorry, she's South African. And she was just saying that this is very, it was something she noticed, that the American parents were like, yes, you're injured, seriously injured, and keep going. And that's very,
because it's
you
this
gotta
desire
win.
to win and keep score.
But I love what Chef said. It's comparison being the thief of joy.
It's true.
Boy, we are solving the world's problems today. I love this.
Or at least we're raising issues. Okay, coming up, we've got Agree to Disagree. This is the Gee and Ursula Show.
Seattle's Morning News. Weekday mornings 6 to 9.
Congressman Adam Smith, the ranking member on the House Armed Services Committee, situation in Minneapolis.
I think this is just the obvious and terrible outcome of the way Trump has approached law enforcement. There seems to be no accountability, and the message going out is do what you got to do. There are no rules. There will be no accountability.
Watch the full interview and subscribe to KIRO Newsradio on YouTube.
Jane Dawson did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With the money she saved, she got herself a pricey bird feeder with an ultra-high-def camera. Should Jane have just bought a regular bird feeder? Yes. Is it hard for her to admire nature when the camera doubles as the bird's potty? Also, yes. But it's Jane's savings, and if she wants to spend her time watching the digestive habits of the white-breasted nuthatch, we say you go, girl. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. Now through February 1st, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RIDER. Code RIDER.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Let's ring in the new year by finally checking off something that actually matters. Your old videotapes and photos are fading more every year. VCRs are disappearing, and the clock is ticking to save your family's most important memories. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve your memories by converting all your videotapes, photos, and film reels into digital files. And this year, it's easier than ever.
Introducing our biggest kit yet, able to hold up to 80 videotapes or film reels or 2,000 photos. It's perfect for big collections. You can even send in old DVDs, memory cards, flip phones, or early generation iPhones.
Legacy Box is truly the easiest New Year's resolution you'll ever keep. Just fill your box and send it in. As the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos, all work is done in the U.S., and we're trusted by over 1 million families.
Start the new year right by rescuing the moments you haven't watched in years. Go to legacybox.com/radio for an incredible 55% off. That's legacybox.com/radio for 55% off.
No heat, electrical issues, frozen pipes, no power? John Curley here, recommending you call Home Comfort Alliance. For over 40 years doing heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical right, including standby generators. Call the comfort people at homecomfortalliance.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. The latest round of Revive I-5 in Seattle caused major traffic problems for southbound drivers this morning. They're left with express lanes, and KIRO News Radio's Chris Sullivan says it was ugly.
The height of the commute, it was probably an hour and 40 minutes from Linwood into Seattle, which is an hour longer than it should take. We had a 9-mile backup. People were going everywhere they possibly could. Lake City Way, you couldn't move. 99 was backed up to Northgate all the way through Queen Anne and the Ship Canal down into South Lake Union.
Express lanes are running northbound 24/7 as WashDOT crews repave 2 lanes of the Ship Canal Bridge. It's going to last all year with a brief break this summer for the World Cup. Homeland Security insists a Minneapolis mother tried to run over an ICE agent, and that's why he fatally shot her last week. In response, the federal government has sent more agents. CBS's Nicole Skanga reports.
There are so many federal agents on the ground that there are more than twice the number of federal agents as police officers.
Immigration crackdown protests continued over the weekend. And in Iran, video shows people crowding into streets and chanting over the deepening economic crisis there. Activists say more than 500 demonstrators have died. President Trump says the U.S. may intervene on their behalf. CBS's Holly Williams.
Iran has responded by warning that if the U.S. takes military action, it will retaliate. And a senior Iranian official said that American shipping and the U.S. military would be legitimate targets.
A major escalation in President Trump's battle with the Federal Reserve. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says the Department of Justice is threatening a criminal indictment over whether he lied to Congress about the Fed's building renovations. He says that's not what's really going on.
This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation.
The president has accused Powell of moving too slowly to lower interest rates. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 60 points, NASDAQ ahead 120. KIRO News Radio traffic, here's Nate Connors.
Thank you, Heather. Let's check out our new norm for the next 5 months. As Heather just talked about, Revive I-5, North 5 is down to 2 lanes across the Ship Canal Bridge. And then to alleviate this pressure, the northbound express lanes are open 24/7. So we're out southbound for the next 5 months. So what's that doing to our traffic? Well, North 5 jams up near Mercer across the bridge, and then you're in the clear. South 5 is improving pretty nicely now. It's still crowded from Northgate across the bridge, but you're moving at a good pace. Linwood to Seattle, about 25 minutes. That's only a 10-minute delay. Over in Bellevue, westbound 90, drivers are unable to hop onto 405 right now due to this disabled semi still blocking both ramps. You're backed up to 150th. And in Olympia, we've got a new crash, northbound 101, just west of the freeway. It's blocking the left lane, so North 5 traffic is stacked up on the off-ramp and onto the freeway. South 5 jams up when you get onto the off-ramp. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio app. Text APP to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO Newsradio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio weather. Cloudy skies today with highs in the low 50s. It's 51 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show, and it is time for us to agree to disagree, brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves, just really go at it.
Washington State is the third most romantic destination for Valentine's Day, according to a study by a luxury travel company that I don't believe needs to be named. The study, and I do use that term loosely, bases the rankings on the number of mentions of the word romantic in TripAdvisor reviews for restaurants, hotels, and getaways.
Okay.
So Texas is supposedly number one, according to this. Rhode Island is 1, Texas 2, Washington 3, New York 4. They write, located in the Pacific Northwest, the state is home to countless natural wonders that make for perfect proposal backdrops, including the Hoh Rainforest. Ursula, is Washington State a good getaway for Valentine's Day?
You sound so skeptical.
Oh, it is. But go ahead. You go first.
It is. I absolutely, again, not to be just a constant cheerleader, but you don't get much better views than what you have here in Washington. I mean, I think about one of my favorite places on earth is Lake Chelan. And I think there are plenty of places there that you can make it a very romantic getaway. Winthrop. Now, I haven't rented the cozy yurt that I've seen some pictures of, and I was like, okay, that would be a fun romantic place. Leavenworth, Mount Rainier, Port Townsend.
You can't get to Mount Rainier right now.
Okay, true, but that's probably not when the survey was taken.
Bah humbug to you.
I know, right?
It's Valentine's Day.
Exactly.
Okay, it is such, just the view, if you're in front of Pike Place Market and throwing fish in the background. I'm with you. You can go see a waterfall. I think it's the nature. It's the nature that really that makes it when it comes to being romantic. We also have some wonderful restaurants like Pink Door and Pike Place Market is really nice.
So Pink Door, what are some other really romantic restaurants?
Yeah,
if you were to advise somebody.
I like Marjorie in the Central District. So cozy. All the places I think are just these cozy spots. Ada's in North Seattle. I don't know if you've been there.
I have not.
Oh, it's so great. I love Ada's. It is just like a hidden gem. One of the few places when I worked at evening, we go to restaurants.
Yes.
And after we finished our show, all of the hosts stood up and applauded the team. Like we hardly did.
Okay, how cool is that?
Yeah, it's pretty good. What about you? What do you like?
As far as romantic restaurants, that's a tough one, but I like some of the small neighborhood ones as well. For example, some of the, this is not romantic, but like when we go, you're going to laugh, but I love going to places like, I want to say Ruth Chris Steakhouse, but it is.
Nice.
It is really nice. The Met.
Oh yeah,
grill.
The Met is nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what's romantic is having excellent service.
Yes.
And having somebody take care of you and pamper you. So I can get that. However, the idea that Washington is the third most romantic destination for Valentine's Day is patently absurd.
Okay, disagree with it. Go ahead. We're listening.
It is February. It is February in Washington State. I've gone on. I love this state. I love the natural beauty of Washington. There's nowhere else in the world I would live. But unless you're going to a cabin in the snow,
snowy cabin,
you really want to be in a yurt in 42-degree temperatures where it's wet outside all the time. Like,
no.
They're recommending the whole rainforest in February. These people are insane.
Okay, hold on though.
What?
Didn't you just recently stay at a lighthouse with your family?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
And it was lovely.
A lighthouse, like minus the kids, would be a romantic place.
Okay, the only thing romantic about Valentine's Day and the natural beauty of Washington State is the fact that it is so mind-numbingly chilly outside and wet that you are going to do nothing but spend your time indoors.
There you go.
Which can be romantic, I suppose.
There you go. Woo. And by the way, I think it's easier to get to Leavenworth now. I think they reopened Highway 2.
Okay.
You can get not all the way on Highway 2. You got to go almost to Tumwater Canyon, then Chumstick Highway around.
Yes.
Okay. Dad went viral on X this week after admitting that he only enjoys playing with his 4-year-old for about 10 minutes a day. He confessed that while he loves his son, playing make-believe is incredibly dull, and he just doesn't like being around kids and playing kid games for very long. He's getting torched by some people, and others say, truth, tell it, brother. What do you say, Angela?
Oh, good for him for being honest. He is keeping it a buck. I did not love that phase either. I do think there are certain people that are better at certain parts of the parenting phase. Some are better with infants. Some are better with that play phase. And others, like I feel like I'm a great preteen teen mom.
Middle school, teenage.
Because I love having discussions and I love kind of preaching and teaching. But yeah, the whole like sit there and I'm with him. I think there's power in being able to admit that, because then you're able to know when you need to step away and not take it out on your kid. Knowing your strengths. What about you, Ursula? Should he be dragged for this?
Okay. I would argue that I think that there's something to be said about protecting the innocence of the child for as long as you can. And okay, why were you looking like that?
What does this have to do with the child's innocence?
Okay, wait.
You don't have to show him R-rated movies to hang out with the 4-year-old. He wasn't telling his son, he wasn't telling his son this. He's just admitting publicly, like, hey, my son's 4, and I got to be honest, like, I can handle 10 minutes of, make-believe, and then, like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore.
So should he get dragged for that?
I mean, that's his opinion. So no, I would generally say no. Where my mind went with this, like 10 minutes, I think of moments where for example, my late mother-in-law was worried about our son having this wild imagination as a youngster and believed in this, believed in that, and just kind of had this fairy tale wonder of what was going on. And then she, at a very early age, was saying, no, this is how it really is. This is how it really is. It's like, let a child be a child. That's the immediate reaction that I got. Yeah. So you were talking about how you're great with preteens. I mean, I was pretty good with preteens, but I think I was really good at the very younger years where I was like, protect the innocence of the child.
Yeah. And then some people will admit they don't like the baby stage. And I'm like, how could you not like the baby stage?
I love the baby stage.
Yeah.
But this dad is spot on. I think if you took 100 adults, 99% of them would quit playing make-believe after 10 minutes, and most of them after only 5. There's only so much time I can sit with, like, Alice in her teacups. I mean, I can play Tickle Monster and throw her on the bed and stuff, and we can do that for about 10 minutes. Yeah. But, like, the attention span of a 4-year-old for silly play that just doesn't appeal to adults is far greater than an adult's. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that.
And that's why I always loved the babysitters that seemed to love it.
Yes.
Like, there were babysitters that really seemed, I was like,
I was that babysitter. I was the champion babysitter in Eugene, Oregon.
You were that person.
Yes. So I basically had all of the families in Eugene, Oregon asking me to babysit.
Since when did we start keeping score on babysitters? Champion babysitter.
If I may say so myself.
I bet you're amazing.
It was a lot of fun. But again, I mean, my whole point being, they're only kids for so long.
Go beyond your comfort zone. Take a break, come back, take a break for 15 minutes and come back.
Yeah, but ultimately, I agree with Robin Puyallup. He shouldn't get dragged for that. That's his opinion. Okay, more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up next.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
More like choke point. The new year brings a big new headache for the thousands of you commuting south on I-5 into Seattle. The latest phase of Revive I-5 is underway, and it won't be finished anytime soon. I've got you covered with traffic on the threes every morning from 6 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News. Nate Connors has you covered every afternoon. We're always hunting for alternate routes, and we'll help you get where you need to be a little faster. On KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
What does your personal financial picture look like right now? If you feel like your finances are spread out in pieces, you got different accounts for this, that, and you don't really have a clear picture, you are not alone. At Trajan Wealth, that is where the conversation starts. Their advisors are fiduciaries, meaning they are obligated to put your needs first and not to push specific products or make any rush decisions. And right now, at this juncture of my life, that was why it was so important for Mark and I to meet with Trajan Wealth. They take the time to understand what it is that really matters to you, how your life looks now, what you want it to support in the years ahead. And instead of adding more complications, they help you understand how all the pieces that you already have fit together, and they do it clearly and calmly. Trajan Wealth is veteran-owned, and they work with families who want to be thoughtful about what they've built. Trajan is spelled Trajan. Call them today for a free consultation, 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300, or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
At Bible Law Group, our team reflects the same lessons learned by our founder, James Bible, while playing for legendary Husky coach Don James. Coach James always said it's amazing what gets done when nobody claims credit. That's the philosophy we carry into every case, because your victory is what matters at Bible Law Group. When your legal problems hit biblical levels and you feel like you're stuck in a lion's den of litigation, you need a legal team that won't back down. At Bible Law, we've secured over $40 million in settlements for our clients, and we're ready to fight for you. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from less. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RIDER. Code RIDER.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Breast cancer is a tough battle for anyone to fight. But when you can't work, care for your kids, or even put food on the table, that diagnosis can be devastating. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to support Northwest Hope and Healing. Our mission is to provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare, so patients can focus on healing. For more than 25 years, Northwest Hope and Healing has distributed over $3 million to thousands of local cancer patients, and you can help make a difference in our community. Join us on Saturday, January 31st for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of fine wine, gourmet cuisine, and inspiration at Mary Hill Winery in the heart of Woodinville wine country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support on January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu, the daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Your windows and doors play a huge role in your home's efficiency and comfort. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors for windows that are up to 25% more energy efficient than Energy Star standards and reduce noise by up to 50%. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com today.
Paid political announcement.
More than half of short-term rentals across Washington are booked by Washingtonians. Families traveling for their children's tournaments and games. Firefighters fighting wildfires. Traveling nurses providing critical care. Every day, short-term rentals are helping make travel more affordable. Legislators in Olympia are considering increasing taxes on short-term rentals. But with the cost of everything going up, we can't take another price increase. Keep travel affordable for us. Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive host pack.
And just like that, we are at the end of the Gee and Ursula Show with Angela Poe Russell. Thank you so much for coming in.
I'm so glad I got to spend time with you.
This was the fastest 3 hours.
It did fly
Went by very
Yeah.
quickly. And I'm going to have you do the honors of starting us with the text messages.
We are talking about the Seahawks. If you have not heard the playoff game against our rival, the 49ers, Dina and Sumner said, I am going on Saturday because I want to treat my son for his birthday. The price that I spent on our tickets makes me want to vomit.
Oh, no. Robin Puyallup says, Angela, can you imagine how much sweeter a Super Bowl victory would be by winning it in San Francisco?
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yes, I want it even more now. Keep that good.
The only other better game would have been the Turkey Bowl. Sherman eating a turkey leg on the 50 in Levi was awesome.
Okay, Rob, don't make me dream. Okay, we were talking about this deep question of should we be keeping score on all these things? Howie in Tacoma said, I made a big mistake by keeping score of my child's life skills and measuring him against that. He can't do electrical work, automotive work, or plumbing, but he is an honor roll student and a great kid. Dad, we aren't the same person, were the words that hit home the most. Isn't that beautiful?
That is beautiful. And I can tell Howie is a great dad because I've seen other text messages that he sent in, and he's just very thoughtful.
Yes.
About, it's like we might want that for our kids, but that might not be what they want for themselves.
Yeah.
And we can encourage and we can, try to help support.
Yeah.
But we can't.
They're their own person.
Exactly.
They're their own person.
Which is so hard. Can you play make-believe for more than 10 minutes? Steve says, I can play with my grandkids for hours. My son looks at me like, what the heck? I say, what? He says, where was all this when I was growing up? I understand that about grandparenting.
That is funny.
Yep.
That is
funny. Easier to do when you can say goodbye.
I am shocked with how patient my dad is with my kids compared to how he was with me. I think we just get more patient as we get older, don't we?
Well, and a lot of times it's like a do-over for the grandparents.
Yeah.
Or as G would say, give people money. When you're trying to make money and you're having to work so many hours, you take care of people, they can spend more time with their kids. All right, It's the gloomiest time of the year. Danny said, even with the gloom, the PNW way of life is far superior to most places. And when the mountains show up and the sun is out, there's nowhere else that compares.
Danny,
I agree.
Agree. Would you leave the country? Gerald in Puyallup says, I just came back from Bangkok and I'm ready to go there to retire early.
Okay, TJ and Shelton, I'm looking at Wyoming. The social temps and taxes are getting out of control. Family has been here since the late 80s. I have a great job, but we had to close our farm this year due to all the increased taxes and permitting and insurance costs. TJ, I'm so sorry.
Nick in Paulsbo is basically corroborating what you said, in terms of friends that you've talked to. Nick says, my brother-in-law's company is based in Australia. They offered them a transfer after the election. My sister-in-law and her husband moved to Portugal because he only became a citizen a few years ago and is from El Salvador. Gave up his successful real estate business here.
Jeff and Bonnie Lake, I would move to Canada or Germany, but that has more to do with their social policies more than the current regime. I felt that way under Biden.
And then Jacob texted in. He says, I've been a lifelong Washington resident, and so has my wife. We've decided we will be moving to Oklahoma this year because of the high cost of housing. Over the last 5 years, our property taxes have increased exponentially to the point where it is no longer affordable for a family of 3. We did see a lot of other text messages, and just know we take it to heart when you get involved with the show and really appreciate you. But right now, it is time for our words to live by, and I was inspired by a conversation we had when you quoted Theodore Roosevelt, who says, comparison is the thief of joy. So I want to go a little further with this other quote, which is, comparing your life to someone else's is the root of unhappiness. Focus on everything that you are rather than everything you are not, because you are more than enough.
That's beautiful. From the head babysitter.
I was laughing.
That's awesome.
Cletus in Federal Way said, congratulations on being the champion babysitter back in 1983. Cletus, you had the right year. You had the right year.
That's my birth year.
Zip it. That's the year I graduated from high school. Thank you, Chef. Thank you, Nick.
Well, we may have started off this week with slowdowns on I-5, giving Monday blues an extra dose of challenges for drives, but at least we have a silver lining for the weekend plans as the bitter rival Niners wait to see our noisy fans. And although the Niners household could be in a little wreck, we'll be sure to fix the damages and keep their play in check without a scratch or a dent seen in the House of 12s afterward.
Love it, Nick.
We're going to create a record. I want the fans to create a sound record. Let's just get in their heads.
Beast Mode Part 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hawks do well at home in the playoffs.
Yes, that's true. Odds are in favor of us. Jake and Spike are coming up next. Have a fabulous day.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo.
Your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO Newsradio.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
I got to tell you something, Nick. I have really noticed a difference in your energy level since you started going to the Longevity Medical Clinic.
And you know why?
Why?
Because they actually balanced my hormone levels. And when they do that, the largest change I noticed was that now I could sleep.
And then not only get more sleep, to just get more energy, right?
Right. So that all of a sudden that resulted in me, I started running again and doing all these things that I felt so fatigued throughout the day that I couldn't do anymore.
Okay, so at this point, do you want to apologize to me? Because I was always saying to you, every time you say, I don't sleep, I don't feel well, I feel kind of off, I go, well, you need to get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. And you're always like, blah, 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 blah.
I know. But now it's turned into something fun that we get to go in together.
So I need to hear, you were right.
You were right.
You were right. I should have gone to Longevity Medical
should
Clinic.
have.
There we go. Fine.
Yes.
You know the right thing to do. Get in touch with Longevity Medical Clinic. Take the free health analysis at lmclinic.com.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Start the new year taking active liver supplements from New Nordic. Online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com, or at CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Drill, baby, drill. If you're an SEC accredited investor looking for one of the most powerful tax advantages available in 2026, now is the time to take a serious look at Encore Energy. Under current federal guidelines, accredited investors may be able to deduct up to 100% of their investment in 2026. And for many investors, that level of tax relief is simply too valuable to ignore. Encore Energy offers operator direct participation in U.S. horizontal oil drilling in areas with a long record of success, including more than 100 producing wells already drilled. These are established fields with existing infrastructure and proven and ongoing production potential. For investors with 100K seeking aggressive tax strategy, portfolio diversification, and a way to participate directly in American energy development, call Encore Energy to get details now. These programs involve significant risk and aren't suitable for everyone. Call 1-800-544-1221. That's 1-800-544-1221. Again, 1-800-544-1221. Encore Energy, where smart investors act before the window closes. Encore Energy at 1-800-544-1221. KIRO FM and HD